Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine starts right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler. A little light on Doctrinaires again. I promise no one's been fired. Just different things going on this week. Tim Andrews is here. And Jared Yamamoto is here. Autumn Fisher has the day off.
And I'm here to inform you that it's Happy World Kindness Day on this big impeachment hearing day.
Let me tell you something. This big bad talk show host ain't got no problem with kindness. Yes. Local. But I think it all starts local.
Oh, yeah. Think locally, act globally.
I thought it was the other way. Think globally, act locally.
No, I don't know.
Either way, kindness doesn't hurt. You know, some people believe that kindness shows weakness. And these are people who are not fully developed mentally and in all aspects. Oh, if I show kindness, people will think I'm weak and they'll take advantage of me. No, you show kindness. I have a philosophy. I allow everyone in the world to screw me over once because that's information. Thank you for letting me know that I can never trust you again. That's wonderful. But I'm always going to meet somebody and be open and be kind. Now, what do you do with that kindness? That's on you. You go the wrong way, one of the worst things that could ever happen to your life is going to happen, which is you're going to lose me as a friend. So there's the penalty. There's the punishment. But know that there are people out there who will abuse your kindness and let that information make you double down on kindness. You'll be all right. Are you afraid that you might be a fool? Get into the library. Educate yourself. Don't be a fool. But it's okay to have an open hand, an open heart, an open mind, and be kind to people, knowing that some people will abuse that. That's fine. You're strong. You're smart. You can handle it. You'll get information from it. Now, if you're not strong or smart, maybe you'd like to go around being mean to people. It might be the best advantage for you. But if you're a smart person, it's okay. You don't have to worry that when someone takes advantage of your kindness, it will somehow fool you into thinking things that aren't true. Not if you're a strong, smart person. People who are mean and petty are betraying the fact that they're not strong inside. They don't feel good about themselves. So they put the barrier up before you can penetrate because they know they're weak. They know their thoughts are like a sail on a lake where the big windy days go whichever way it goes. They're worried. They're scared. They're frightened. A kind person is a confident person. They're not afraid of you. Therefore, they can be open with you. And this is how you know. If mean and petty people are your bosses, deal with them. If they're anything below that in your life, get rid of them. Let's go.
Headlines for Wednesday, November 13th.
Right there. This show, the Von Haessler Doctrine. By the way, we got a great one percolating today. Already. Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's in the college. It's percolating. Hey, in the opening message right there, I have given you more than any kind of competition that I have will give you this week. And yet, that was just the appetizer. All right, hit us with a little more.
The city of Atlanta and DeKalb County opened warming centers.
The city of Atlanta in DeKalb County.
No, the city of Atlanta and DeKalb County.
Both the city of Atlanta and their good friend DeKalb County.
Yes. They've opened warming centers. They are open warming centers yesterday, and these warming centers will remain open through Thursday at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Is a warming center a place where you walk in for a few moments, get warm, and then you kick you back out into the on the sidewalk? Yeah, hey, you just unbuttoned 3 buttons. Get out of here. You're fine. You know what you might want to do. Now, this is crazy. Send your cards and letters to WSB care of Program Director Pete Spriggs. But what you might want to do in your life is live your life in such a way that when the winter comes, which, by the way, it does every single year, you have a warming center where you can retreat, where you can go Yeah, all year long, do you need it? No, but bam, here comes a night like last night and tonight, and there it is. There's your warming center, but it takes a lifetime of not screwing others over, not screwing yourself over, being honest, being good for your word. See, if you're honest and good for your word, basically, you'll always have a warming center. Really. If you don't get addicted to some sort of drug or alcohol and start stealing from your friends, this is the beginning of when the winter comes, not having a warming center. What you want to do is live your life in such a way. There's 15 people probably within this little area, and a few people in California, and a few people in Western New York. I'd say 15 here, maybe 3 in California, and probably 25 in Western New York. That if I show up on their doorstep shivering cold, they open the door, they let me in. They don't say, hey, make sure all the valuables are put away. Von Haessler's here. No, they just open it up. You know what? This is Von Haessler. I warmed him up. He's probably going to do the dishes tonight. He's going to. So all I'm saying is, when push comes to shove, it's cold, open the doors, let people get warm. I'm a humanitarian. But I want to let the young children, the kids, the millennials know, if you want to never need a warming center, then live your life in such a way with honesty and your word is your bond. That's it. Honesty, your word is your bond. Any cold night, you'll be able to find people who will let you in willingly, happily.
If you decide to go to the one in Atlanta at 275 Pryor Street, I mean, this is a great benefit that you get.
By the way, as I recall, that is probably I think it was just awarded the safest part of town. What is this? Yes. Creative Loafing says the safest part of town, Pryor Street.
Yeah, they're offering free transportation beginning at 5 p.m. So you can get to the warming center, and you can also get taken back to where you were, I guess, where originally came from.
If you somehow have a radio, you might end up on this transportation. Little advice for you: while in transport from your bridge to the warming center, don't start a fight with anybody. Your objective is not to get kicked off the bus, because they're not going to go in reverse to get you again. This is really your shot. So I'm trying to help people. I want people to be warm.
Now, Eric, not only Atlanta is experiencing this cold weather. This cold snap
I hear it's all the way up to North Carolina.
Oh yeah, it's all across the country. The country's in a cold spell, and this
Carolinas, they call that Yankee country.
That's
North
right.
Carolina
Nowadays, Yankee country up there in North Carolina.
And the Associated Press. There's some of our friends here at WSB. They spoke to some.
Who do you know in Associated Press? Name one AP reporter that you know.
I know some people over there.
You're just words are falling out of your face.
Our friends.
Our friends over at the Associated.
I don't know if they're friends. As I say, I'll meet them with an open mind.
They spoke with some cattle farmers up in Ohio.
Oh, Jared is begging me to be able to play this because Jared, he's a millennial, and that means that they don't make fun of anybody except for people in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. Jared, who's lived his whole life in the Atlanta area, Chattanooga, has never heard this before, and he finds this accent to be hilarious. So again, send your cards and letters to WSB Radio, care of Program Director Pete Spriggs, if this offends you. I know I'm offended, and that's just from the prep.
This is cattle farmer Bob Grove, and he says the single-digit temperatures are bad for his cattle and bad for his soybeans.
Still got soybeans out to be harvested. Really like the snow to go away, so it doesn't plug up the machinery for harvesting, and dealing with soft, wet conditions beneath the snow from all the rain we've had.
Look at him laughing at that.
People are actually...
You're laughing
He's
too.
laughing at you laughing. Everybody makes fun of other people's accents. I remember a few years ago, some friends of mine from Western New York. You can do the Western New York accent, right?
Yeah, Western New York accent's pretty simple.
You talk about food all the time.
Yeah, well, we was down in Buffalo the other day, and we thought, we want some wings, but the one place we went to there was breaded, and they ran out of blue cheese, so we just decided to go to a place across the street, and they had it.
Yeah, and if you go to Rochester, it gets a little twangier.
And then closer you get to the Midwest there, they start getting up there, and they doing the Canada.
So my friends came down because they love racing, and they came down for a race many years ago, and we were getting into the racetrack, and my friends were all talking like that because they're from Rochester.
Dad, I never seen boiled peanuts before. Are they any good?
And I rolled down the window and got some help from one of the guy had a southern accent. And when I rolled up the window, everybody in the back seat in their ridiculous accent, are making fun of the Southern accent.
Can you believe that? He said y'all.
So my point is, everybody makes fun of somebody else's accent because it just sounds different from where they are.
Sir, can you say snow for me again one more time?
Snow.
Listen to this. This is the millennials supposed to not make Are you accent shaming?
I am accent shaming.
Soybean farmers are being harmed by these tariffs. They don't know what to do. I love this president. I'm going broke.
You try living by the Great Lakes and being buried in feet of snow every year.
You'd be talking about food all the time.
We was hungry. We couldn't get out of the house.
I've been around with my people in Western New York, 15-minute conversations about how they give you a free refill.
Yeah. Did you get that haddock they had on Friday? Usually it's beer batter, but this time it was a different coating. It was pretty good.
Bratted.
All right. You like haddock?
It's cold everywhere, and this keep it at WSB. We got Kirk Mellish. We got the best in the business. You don't have to worry about it. We'll keep you up to date. What are we doing with impeachment today? Are we supposed to let people know? Is impeachment next on your...
Well, the AJC has a new impeachment poll out, and they found that a majority of Georgia voters approve of the impeachment investigation into Trump, which is, I guess, kind of shocking, because Georgia's primarily a red state.
This is what people are saying is we want to know more. Because nationally, it's also... Because if you look deeper into the poll, you don't have a majority for removal. You have a majority for impeachment. I still say I think most people in this country believe impeachment is removal, even though we just had the example 20 years ago of Bill Clinton. I think that most people, but then again, I think most people think the universe is the solar system. So I think most people don't know the sun is a star. I think that most people don't know that the sun is just another star.
You can't land on it?
No, you cannot.
Harvest some of that hate?
No, you cannot, sir. Not by landing on it, that's for sure. And why are you doing the hillbilly accent? Now you're being like him. Are you associating not knowing things with Southern accents?
I think it's the polar opposite of Jared. I'm from the North, and I'm still amazed by this one.
I say people in Georgia make fun of Alabama, but people in Alabama make fun of Mississippi.
Yeah.
People in Mississippi make fun of Mexico. They think it rolls downhill. So,
they got a bad economy down there in Mexico, almost as bad as
ours. Lovely cafes in Hattiesburg. Nothing against Mississippi. So the impeachment, actually, I think what should happen is the same thing that should have happened in the 90s with Clinton. The impeachment was an overreach. As I've said to people, I believe any time you're impeaching a president knowing he won't be removed, that's totally political and illegitimate. And it doesn't matter about the underlying things. If you can't now, the idea is something is going to happen during these hearings today or Friday or next week that will change that. And suddenly 10, 12 Republican senators start jumping. I think they need 20. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to happen. And I think when you are on the other side and you're starting impeachment and you're going all the way with impeachment, which I think they will, and you know there will be no removal, that's a completely and totally illegitimate political act, I think. I heard coming into this is a historic day. I disagree with that. I don't think this is a historic day. I think 150 years from now, we're going to count 4, 5, 6 of these. This is now impeachment as a tool to say one side does not like what the country decided, and we can't remove this dude, but we can put a stain on. And impeachment will actually, to historians, not mean as much as it becomes more and more. I mean, now we're using it every 20 years. People wanted to use it against W. It was stopped at the last minute. It's being used as a political tool. I think 150 years from now, when historians look back, it will not be seen as anything more than, well, this is what the parties that are out of the Oval Office do. And it's going to be now every 2 to 3 presidents. This is going to go on. Because it's effective for fundraising and going into the next campaign. And although Clinton remained very popular, Bush won the next election, and Al Gore distanced himself from Clinton. So there's a political end here. Now, how are we doing this today? We're going to have the Von Haessler Doctrines on here. Has this thing started already or no?
It starts at 10 o'clock.
Okay. Ooh. So the Von Haessler Doctrine is on here.
That's right, 95.5.
But AM 750, if you go over there, that's the impeachment, wall to wall.
That's right.
Jamie Dupree is in the room. He'll be tweeting. Right?
The entire
live
time.
Tweeting, as they say.
That's right.
Much like the Kardashians. He'll be live tweeting.
He's so good at it, too. He's awesome during the debates. If you haven't followed him yet to this point, he is great with that stuff. He gives a great play-by-play.
I agree. I think that people should keep it right here on 95.5 FM and on their second screen, follow Jamie Dupree's. Now, here's the deal. You want to be entertained today? You stay right here on 95.5 FM. If you do not want to be entertained and onanism appeals to you, then you can go over to AM 750 and waste your time for no good reason and listen to people. And I'm going to tell you, Eric Von Haessler, what am I here for? Help you cut through the clutter. This is what's going to happen. They're leading with the two people that Schiff thinks were best behind the scenes to get things going. So they're really going to try to make news today. For the next 24 hours, CNN and MSNBC are going to act like this is it. They got him. Maybe not quite a smoking gun, but close enough to win a horseshoes. So this is, so you're going to get 24 to all from now until Friday. Oh, this is a real thing. This is big. This is big. My prediction is then it kind of peters out and we go on to the next thing, even being the next person coming up for the hearings. That's my prediction. I'm always right, but you never know. Maybe this will be the first time I'm wrong. That's the adventure.
Irreverent, entertaining, gut-busting,
very funny, and doesn't toe any party line.
I think it's a great show.
The Von Haessler Doctrine on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
All right, let's explain this again. So this impeachment stuff starts at 10.
That's right.
And we have it and we don't have it. So on 95.5 FM. 0.5 FM. Well, this guy really, you wonder how he keeps his job.
Well, you know, I get it.
They really like him.
They love him.
95.5. I know, I went to a meeting about this. It's not 95.5. It's 95.5.
Yeah, punto.
Yes. Oh, that scares me now. I still have a job, right?
Hey, they listen to it.
All right. So the Von Haessler Doctrine will be entertaining the entire metro area.
That's right.
On 95.5 WSB. However, we've split it off. So the AM 750, if you're one of these people who does not want to be entertained and wants to listen to a useless experience that's going on in D.C., you go to AM 750, wall-to-wall, the impeachment hearings.
Correct.
By the way, I have it here. This is just in. That is BYOP. Bring your own pillow. Or you can stay here and be entertained. And then also, what more shilling do you have to do?
Well, don't forget, on WSBRadio.com and on the WSB Radio app, you can lissn to both of them as well.
At the same time?
You could if you wanted to. I don't know.
By the way, this is the impeachment show for today is, I'm not sure who's appearing, so let's go to the promo.
Today on the impeachment show, Deputy Assistant Secretary of State George Kent.
Well, I didn't hear the phone call, and I didn't read the transcript, but I had a good idea what was going on.
Former ambassador and top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, Bill Taylor.
Is there any way we could wrap this up? I'm on Aaron Burnett tonight.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. California Congressman Adam Schiff. President Donald Trump.
This is a witch hunt.
And a special appearance by South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham.
That's a bunch of BS.
You never know what's going to happen, so tune in. Only on ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNBC, MSNBC, C-SPAN, C-SPAN 2, C-SPAN 3, CNN, Fox News. Today and every day.
And, of course, AM 750. Hey, maybe this sounds kind of entertaining. So Lindsey Graham's like the neighbor with the catchphrase. He just opens the door.
And you hear the door open there, and he just goes, "This bunch of BS."
Oh, it is kind of entertaining. All right. Has anybody seen this? You know, this is a little things aggravate me. I know it's not a big thing. I'm not presenting it as a big thing. But I'm your host, and little things aggravate me. So there's the only commercials I ever see really are stuff I see when I'm watching sporting events or something. So Tim watches Red Zone, so he doesn't see any commercials, and he doesn't pee for 6 hours. So you'll miss something. So, but Jared, have you seen the new Peloton commercial? You know what Peloton is?
It's that bike thing,
It's
right?
the bike, but you get like a live trainer and stuff through video.
It's kind of a new thing in the workout world.
For some reason, everybody puts them in front of bay windows. I don't know why. I guess you want people outside to see you working
Look at me.
out. So, in this latest one, it's Christmas, and the husband The beautiful wife who needs to never go to the gym to stay beautiful, as far as I can see, absolutely perfect wife, comes down the stairs in her pajamas, holding the hand of their absolutely perfect and wonderful little girl. And she finds out that, oh, you got me a Peloton for Christmas. And then the rest of the commercial is she's doing her Insta stories as she works out. You know, first time, I'm nervous. She's gonna, okay, day 5. Are you surprised? I am. You know, so, and then at the end of the commercial, this is the thing that annoys me. First of all, she's beautiful. She doesn't have to do a thing to look beautiful. She's already doesn't need anything. They live in a palace, like all these houses. This is the same husband who last year must have been in that commercial where he bought 2 new cars for $150,000. This is the same kind of family, the billionaire family. So at the very end of the commercial, you think you're watching all this stuff in real time, but no. It's the next Christmas. It's a year later, and she's sitting on the couch, and she and her husband are watching all of her Insta stories on their big screen television in the living room. And for some reason, this just annoys the hell out of me that anybody would think that would be a point of, does that really happen? Is this a new thing that men have to deal with? Honey, I want to show you my Insta stories. Well, do you have a phone? No. On our 72-inch television.
Well, I know with Facebook that you can now cast what you're watching on Facebook onto like the Google Cast like that.
Google Cast.
So I bet Instagram is probably following that same model.
What Instagram story needs to be shown on a 72-inch television?
So Instagram is the new, hey, do you want to come over and watch our slides?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, meanwhile, this woman does not need a bike. I mean, she walked at the first scene of the commercial, she walks down in her pajamas, and you think, well, that's a beautiful woman who's perfect. Oh, here's a bike. Hey, I married you. Hey, get on it now, honey. Because if you gain 7 pounds, I'm out of here. Let's do this.
It's the Doctrine mailbag. We've got the open mics, Facebook messages, and emails we've collected from the week.
I didn't marry you for your money. That was your game, honey. I married you for the looks. Now we got this kid. Let's get back on that bike. It's like when I always thought when I was growing up, like, at Christmas, the kids get toys and stuff, and then somebody give my mom something like a mixing bowl.
There you go.
I was like, hey, get in the kitchen and
My mom's boyfriend. One year, my mom's boyfriend got her a garbage can.
Oh, no.
And it was a subtle hint.
Yeah, a total utilitarian. Yeah. All right, we clean up the wrapping, get in the kitchen, and get this stuff going. All right, what do you got for me?
It's a bit of a combative mailbag today, Eric.
Good, I'm in the mood.
Okay, good.
I'm in the mood for a melody. I'm in the mood for a melody. I'm in the mood.
We'll start with a sweet story that you talked about during the podcast.
A sweet story?
A sweet story. But
was it about Ballroom Blitz?
It was not about Ballroom Blitz, but it was about about what your family did with your Christmas tree when you were a kid, how they waited.
Well, the way that it was is we would buy, this was when I was a young kid, and it was wonderful. The tree would get the tree 2 or 3 days before Christmas. It would just sit there and not decorated. When we came down in the morning, our tradition was that Santa Claus not only stopped by and left gifts, but Santa Claus actually trimmed the tree. So the first time as a 5-year-old that I saw the Christmas tree was coming down the stairs and saw it all lit up was that morning. So it would be quite overwhelming. And then here's the funny thing. That's still my favorite Christmas when I was 5. One of my favorites was when I was 5. And in my mind, the Christmas tree was just the perfect Christmas tree. I went through all my life trying to match that tree, and then I came across a photo, a black and white photo of that 1969 Christmas in Asheville, Ohio. That was the ugliest tree. It was not very tall. It was really kind of bushy, kind of looking. Yeah. And but it just shows you when you're a kid. What you see, you idealize the things you see. I spent some of my adult life, I'm trying to match that tree, and then finally realize, I outdid that tree the first time I ever did my own tree. I had no idea. All right.
Well, yesterday you said you weren't sure where that tradition came from to set up the Christmas tree on that day, and this open micer has an answer for you.
Hey there, Eric von Haessler. Regarding your love of Christmas and confusion over why your parents would have the Christmas tree ready for Christmas Day, well, that's a German tradition. My parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents have always done that. You reveal the old Tannenbaum right before Christmas, and the decoration is a part of the splendor of the gifts. So your parents, they were good Germans.
Yes, they were.
Well, much like Germany that's got a lot of things wrong, my parents got a lot of things wrong, but they did Christmas right.
Very efficient Christmas. We have all the records going back.
Yes, everything is...
Each and every present, every dime spent.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense then. My dad must have been enamored. He gave me the middle name Von, and my younger brother the middle name Von. He must have gone through a period, where the German thing.
Big German influence.
Enough time had passed by the time I was born in 1964 that it was okay to say, German thing. You could be cool with that again.
So now you're buttered up. We've got here comes the people fighting now.
This was the setup, and now you're going to smack me in the face with some listener saying something like, "I don't like your young."
Well, this first listener was not happy that we reported that AJC impeachment poll that we talked about, how a majority of Georgians feel that they want.
All right, so hold on. This is a guy who listens to the radio and thinks, "I don't think they have enough program directors. I'm going to get involved."
You be the judge.
No, I'm judging this guy before I hear them. Wait a minute. It's a news station, and you think we should only report things that you like to hear. Okay, let's hear from this moron.
There goes WSB again with their bogus polls.
Stop for 1 second. No, I'm not playing anymore unless you tell me that he sources the fact that it's a bogus poll. Like, he doesn't just say that. This sounds like a very erudite intellectual. So my guess is the next thing that will happen is he will cite his sources, and they won't be from the radio, and they won't be from Fox News, and they won't be from OAN. No, this guy, again, sounding very erudite as he is, go look it up, pal. It was a compliment. Obviously, wouldn't just throw a statement out there. This is not a parrot. This is not a guy who hears something on the radio and then you hear him saying the same thing 3 hours later at a party. Not this guy. I am sure and confident that after he makes this statement that it's a bogus poll, he will back that up with facts.
There goes WSB again with their bogus polls talking about Trump's going to have a hard time. He's not going to have a hard time. Doesn't matter who he goes up against, even if it's Biden. Biden's a POS. President Trump, 2020, it's going to happen.
Oh, okay. So I'm supposed to believe that this guy never heard somebody else on the radio or television say POS.
Yeah.
That's a completely original thing. Because as I say, you hear the guy like Thurston Howell or something. I mean, there's no way he would just... This is not one of those guys who would just say something he heard on the radio. Not at all. I will respect what he has to say. All right, program directors, from now on, only polls that say that Trump is not in trouble with anyone in the country are allowed because, those are the polls that guy believes. When you don't believe polls, here's how it goes. You don't believe any of them, right?
No, I believe OAN's polls.
Oh, they got good. How about that poll that Lou Dobbs does every night?
Lou Dobbs poll.
I realize. Here's a good indication that you have no brain. You watch Lou Dobbs every night. This guy, Lou Dobbs, has been promising his audience that there's going to be a bombshell for 2 years.
TikTok.
Here it comes. Let me tell you something. This guy's doing this thing. They're all going to jail. You can hold it against me if I tell you the truth. If you're listening to me from the left or you're listening to me from the right, a few underlings that we never heard of before any of this started may do some jail time. None of the politicians that you've ever heard of on either side are going to jail. That's that. That's the way it is. And it doesn't matter what you think about it. That's the way that it is. This show is not on a political mission. Sorry. Here's the good news. Everything on the radio dial is free. There is no entry fee. There is no door charge to get in anywhere, and there's no charge if you leave. There's no 2-drink minimum once you're inside. So if you don't like what you hear, it's as easy as... And as far as Von Haessler's concerned, don't let the door hit you on the backside on the way out. If you want to listen to, I want to turn on the radio and hear those things that I already know that I know, and I don't want to hear nothing else, well, bye-bye. Well, how's the song go? Various, bye-bye.
Adieu. Goodbye.
With kindness.
That's very nice
and
of you.
fondness. I don't want people to be upset. If people watch Lou Dobbs every night and are convinced of a one world view, go find it, man. Go find it. You have no curiosity. You never heard or honored the phrase, variety is the spice of life. You want to talk about the same thing tomorrow that you talked about yesterday and today. You bore the hell out of me. Bye-bye. What's next?
All right, so we're going to keep with the combative mailbag here. This is an email
I feel like I'm in good shape.
This is an email from
round one. That guy was a sparring partner at best, an old champion who once had his day.
This is a lengthy email here. His name is Steve, and the subject line is Hillbillies. I am a longtime listener to WSB and certainly do not follow the criteria of the PC crowd.
Okay, here it comes.
Yet.
But now I'm going to go all PC on you and follow the criteria of the PC. No, if you don't follow the criteria of the PC crowd, there's no rest of this. So, start over again, starting from this sentence, because the first part doesn't matter. So when you hear a guy, hey, I'm not a racist, but okay, check, please.
Get
out of here.
Yet during your show, you referred to hillbillies during your dialogue.
I did. I think hillbilly is the funniest damn word in the world.
On inserting AI chips in one's brain. Yeah. My family is from Southwest Virginia, near Whitesville.
Oh, here we go. Hey, Eric, I love it when you joke about everybody else. This one came in a little too close.
Which is near the tail of Virginia, which lies north of North Carolina,
I
east
didn't know
of
Virginia
Tennessee.
had a tail.
Oh, yeah, it does. It hangs down there at the bottom side. Couldn't remove it.
Hold on. I think we need to go ahead and take the break now because this is a long...
Oh, he's not done. Steve's got a couple more paragraphs.
I've upset a hillbilly, and I want to do what I can to rectify that situation. All right, very quickly. So this guy's mad that I was joking about hillbillies. Go on.
He says, my family and those from that area are often referred to as hillbillies. Using that term for the people of that region is like using the N-word for a black person.
Oh, come on.
Oh, hey, we're here.
Hey, what's going on? Who's out there?
What you got?
Look, I don't need to... Look, there's no problem here. Listen, it's a joke. You can take a joke. Everybody takes a joke. Hey, what? Hey.
Get him. Come on, get him.
All right. I just thought it was kind of funny.
What you got to say now, smart boy? Hey, I'm here.
Hey!
Call me hillbilly.
Look.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I would like to read a statement. I, Eric von Haessler.
Don't be nervous.
I'm doing this. I'm making this statement of my own free will. It's not forced in any way.
He is all right. Hold that bait. Take a beat, man.
I would like to apologize to all of my friends who live in the hills.
That's right.
And who are...
Some live in hollers?
I have... in the hollers. And I have done wrong. Yes, and I am sorry that I have shamed you in any way. I thought it was funny until it has been brought to my attention that the word the H word is offensive.
Yeah, I don't want to hear H word.
Well, it's the H word.
Are you apologizing to my sister and wife?
No. I'm saying that I will never, now that I've been educated
yes, sir.
On this, that I will never use the H word again in any disparaging manner.
I don't even want to hear the H word.
Well, I have to be able to say what I'm not going to say. I'm doing what I can. Please, I'm doing the best that I can.
Hand me that guitar. I'm going to hit him with it.
I promise. I'll say whatever you want me to say.
Don't say hillbilly.
I'm just not going to do it anymore. That's all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Got him. Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I feel bad. I didn't push this enough. I was on that. I did 2 podcasts with Wayne and the boys over at What the Riff, and they separated them, so it's 2 different albums. You can go to What the Riff, put it into all your podcasty things, and you'll find it. The first one was Scarred But Smarter, Driving and Crying. That was a few weeks ago, and now on Monday, I'm doing a second one with them for Crowded House Woodface. You take one album from a year, and you talk about the year and the album, and it's a really great podcast, and I feel like I gave them is it shrift?
Short shrift.
I don't know what shrift means, but I think I did that. I didn't push the first one enough, so Go look for the Smarter one from a few weeks ago, and then on Monday, the Crowded House Woodface podcast will drop. What the riff? What are we doing here? Are we still doing mail?
Yeah, I told you.
You wanted to still do mail. You know what? I should first hold on, because the actual hearings have started, the impeachment hearings, and the way this works is that if you want to be, well, you don't have to do that. I'm about to do that. Did you not notice that I'm going to tell people how to do this? If you want to, are you living in another world over there?
Maybe.
So, if you want to be entertained, you stay here on the FM side. If you don't want to be entertained and you want to follow this impeachment hearing thing, you go to AM 750. However, we have the ability to dip in every once in a while, and so let's dip on over there to AM 750 and see what's going on with the impeachment hearings. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Yeah. Yeah, you go over there to AM 750 and listen to the circus if you want to, or you can stay here and be entertained. All right, what do you have? I want to go back to the. Who was the guy who yelled at me because? Oh no, he didn't like the fact that we covered a poll that he doesn't agree with.
You mean this
is fantastic? Yeah.
There goes WSB again with their bogus polls.
Stop
talking about.
These guys just sound like they'd be wonderful to wake up on Christmas morning with.
There we go. Another bunch of presents nobody likes.
It's like I don't want to. I don't want to go after one listener too much, but just a certain type. Some people just don't seem all that pleasant.
Same old breakfast on Christmas.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was what he called a happy warrior. Those days are gone, I guess. All right, go ahead.
Well, I think this must be his wife that left this open.
No, hold on. Let's finish the first one because I wanted something to say.
There goes WSB again with their bogus polls talking about Trump's going to have a hard time. He's not going to have a hard time.
Everybody I know loves him.
Doesn't matter who he goes up against, even if it's Biden. Biden's a POS. President Trump, 2020. It's going to happen.
All right, it may happen. I don't know. It's fine with me if it happens. It's fine with me if it doesn't happen. I'm just happen to be one of those people. But POS, so that's piece of you know what.
Yeah.
Now, is that from the is that part of the Harvard Debate Society rules? Like he is like,
yes.
And that's why I believe for all of my qualifications and the policies that have been laid out here in my point of view, that's why I would be the best to be the treasurer of the Harvard blah blah blah. And then the other guy goes, "Oh yeah." He's a piece of you-know Yeah, but he's a piece of you-know-what. That's a new element to the debate. I wanted to say to that guy, maybe I was a little harsh. I think I used the M word. I never used the N word, but I think I referred to him more. That's probably a little over the top to do something. I need to have a conscience, you know?
Yeah.
And I think about stuff like that.
Words hurt.
But words hurt, and I don't want to be part of that. But I do want this person to know, and maybe new people. We get new people all the time. Our research shows we get new people all the time. I know that this might freak you out, but you're listening to a host who is open and transparent enough to tell you how he votes. You're listening to a host who has very definite points of view about the world and a worldview, a philosophy. But here's the part that might shake you to your core because you've been pandered to for so long. You're also listening to a host who does not give a damn how anybody listening votes. Not one whit. I don't care. This show is not a political mission. This is an old-fashioned radio show. We are driven by current events. If you want Trump to win again, get your ass out there, start canvassing. Listening to the radio and watching Fox News ain't going to get it done. The fact that everyone that you know agrees with you isn't everyone, and you need to understand that. Is it important to you that this president get reelected? Stop getting angry with everybody and get up off the couch and get your ass out there and start canvassing and do what needs to be done so that your side can win. But here's the thing, it's America. You could do all of that, expend all that energy, and still lose. Did you know that? And that would still be legitimate, and that you should still smile the next day and look in the mirror and go, you're an American. You just had the opportunity to take part in a way, hold on, that 99.9% of all the people who have ever lived and died on this planet had an opportunity to. When you get involved in an election from your point of view and you exert money and energy and time and you lose, you should still wake up the next day with a huge smile on your face because, again, you participated in something that 99.9% of every person who ever lived or died in the history of this planet didn't have the opportunity to do. You see, sir, it's the country and the process. Be proud of the fact that you can engage. Results will change. I'm a low tax guy. Results change. Sometimes the taxes go up, sometimes they go down. I wake up every day with a smile on my face that I live in a country that says, I can say what I want, I can publish what I want, I can give money to who I want, I can be a part of what I want. You know what? I can run if I want. But when you've got skeletons inside of the skeletons inside of the skeletons in my closet, that one's kind of off the table, but that's my fault, not the founders. There you go. This is if you're coming here looking for a mission, I don't believe. Listen to this. WSB Radio is for everybody in the metro Atlanta area. The Von Haessler Doctrine is for everybody in the metro Atlanta area. I am not your mouthpiece. This station is not your mouthpiece. Not for nothing. We still run Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity 6 hours a day. Oh, I ain't enough. That's because you don't understand what enough is, and you don't understand what participating in society is. You don't just wake up every day and have conversations with people who agree with you. Hey, are you laughing and applauding on the left? I'm talking to you, too.
Ow.
I'm talking to everybody. What? Well, that's a good thing. I'm talking to everybody. And you should be talking to everybody as well. No matter whom you voted for, is whom right there? No matter who you voted for, or who you voted against, or who you love, or who you hate. Because as I explained yesterday, I figured it out with me. Why am I always on the outside of all of this? I'm not trying to be. I'm not a contrarian on purpose. And I figured it out. Unlike most people, I have no need to be led. I have no need to love any leader. I have an understanding that you need people to run the government. And I love this system where we get a voice in who's going to do that. But I don't believe that anybody threw their hat in the ring to help me out. Are you kidding me? Do you believe that? Do you believe that AOC? Oh, my goodness, I've got some audio from AOC that you would not believe. That'll be coming up. That'll be coming up. So that's just it. That's the way that it is. The Von Haessler Doctrine is a entertaining show that is driven by current events. Now, I'll tell you what I think, how I vote, and why I do it. I do not give a damn how you vote. That's the open hand of this radio show. Now, I guess we now have the other person yell at me.
Yes, now since we played a male perspective on that, We'll play the female perspective to be fair.
Yeah. We need to face it. WSB is turning into another CNN.
Yeah, that's right. Face it.
Face it. I mean, at least 4 to 5 times a day, I hear things that don't necessarily match everything that I agree and think already. Oh, why do I think this? I don't know. There's a person that I love, and they said it, so I say it. Do I actually do my own research? Why do I need to do that? I love AOC, or I love Trump. Why would I need to do my own personal research and sort of create my own personal worldview? No, I'm not that kind of... I'm just not strong like that. I need to be led. Man. So I choose people to lead me right around by my nose.
I told you.
And if you're on the left when it comes to AOC, if she said it, I agree with it. And if you're on the right with Trump, if he said it, I agree with it. Good for you. Good for you.
I told you it was a combative mailbag today.
Yes.
We have more.
Well, wait a minute. You got that liberal Eric Erickson on from 4 to 6.
That's right. Certainly. Yes.
We opened the show talking about how the city of Atlanta and DeKalb County have opened warming shelters until tomorrow at 9 a.m. And you were talking about the need to not go to a warming shelter.
How to prevent going to a warming shelter is to live your life in such a way that when the winter time comes, which, by the way, by my calculations, there it is, once a year. So you should see it coming. It shouldn't surprise. No season after you're 10 years of age should surprise you. So this is how you don't need a warming center. You live your life in such a way that many people will take you in if you found yourself without shelter. That means honesty, being good for your word.
This open micer wants to weigh in.
Eric von Haessler.
That's me.
I love your show.
I love you.
Been a listener for some time.
Uh-oh.
Got to be honest, super offended by your comments about
for 1 second.
people living.
I know we're getting close to the break, and we will play the rest of this guy. Isn't offended enough? What have we done in this country? Oh, no, I'm super offended. The word offended is at 100%. It needs no modifier. If you're more than offended, you're almost certainly wrong. All right, this is the crazy WSB experiment continues right here on 95.5 FM. You've got the Von Haessler Doctrine and all day long, your regular programming. But if you're into the impeachment, you can just go to AM 750, and then it's all impeachment the whole time the hearings are going on. However, as I said before, we do have the ability here to kind of check in, see what's going on over there. They've been going on for about 30 minutes in now. Yeah. So let's see what's happening over there on AM 750, the impeachment hearings. All right, okay. All right.
Sounds fun.
That's about what I expected. That's about what I expected was going to be happening over there. But if you keep it here, you'll actually enjoy yourself. So where were we with this?
I'll play the rest of this open mic here, so that way you can answer his question.
Right.
Eric von Haessler. I love your show. Been a listener for some time. Got to be honest, super offended by your comments about people living on the streets this morning. Work with them every day. Their stories are sometimes super dynamic and super complex. So for you to simplify it and mock them is quite a shame. It's very disappointing to hear this morning.
So simplifying something equals mocking people. Did you get that from the dictionary? Did he make that up? Is this just the way it's always been from your point of view? If somebody simplifies something, then that equals that they are mocking it. This is new to me. But then again, I didn't find out what Auld Lang Syne meant until yesterday. And I'm 55 years old. So I can learn new things. My guess is I'm not here. That wasn't my point. I didn't mock anybody.
No.
I was helping people. Look, the fact of the matter is, a human being should walk through life in such a way and treat people in such a way that people will take them in hard times. But I'm not going to take you in if you're addicted to something and you can't control yourself and you're going to steal money. I'm sorry. There's a lot of mental illness. And, yeah, there are a handful of cases of people on hard luck. By the way, no one seems to want to solve this problem. I do. Who was that lady who called in and said, obviously we're becoming like CNN or something?
Talking about this lady?
Yeah.
We need to face it. WSB is turning into another CNN.
So this is information. Does CNN run Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity for like 6 hours a day? I didn't know. I didn't know CNN was going that way.
Oh, yeah. It's on right after Don Lemon.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Rush has a whole TV show. It's he and Sean doing a show together, yeah.
So this says, it's really CNN is becoming more like WSB, if you ask me. But it may be that I'm somewhat provincial.
Tim pointed out something great in the break about this. She says "we" in the middle of that open mic.
We need to face it.
We need to face it
because people have been. I don't want to go into it. You get me deconstructing radio. And how people have been, the pretending that's been going on in talk radio for the last 20, 25 years. That, you're the program director. Okay. All right. Sometimes puppets don't see their own strings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things are changing now. We're going into a new direction where the host expects that you're smart enough that you can think for yourself and you can handle different points of view and you can work it through your own filter and your own experiences and you can handle jokes and you can handle jokes that hit you. There's I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think it's the best show. I think it's the best comedy show ever. And this last one they did, today's Thursday, so I haven't seen Wednesday. But before that,
today's Wednesday, so it hasn't been on yet.
Is today Wednesday?
Yes.
So when I tell you how to live your life, know that I'm a person who really is very smart, who didn't know the day of the week. So tonight will be the new one. The last one was The Gang Solves Global Warming. And it was brilliant satire, because what they do is not what Colbert does. It's not what The Daily Show does. They actually, when they decide to tackle a phenomenon, a cultural phenomenon, they just send up. That's the idea. They satirize the whole thing, and everybody's involved. And guess what? They do such a great job, and it's so funny. And guess what? People like me, from my point of view, are also made fun of. And I was liking this show until they pointed out that maybe I'm human too. Look. That's really what I get all the time. Oh, I thought you were funny until you said that thing that, it got to the thing that I know in my life that's close to me. And that's just, and the we, if you go back to the CNN thing, we need to, you got a mouse in your pocket?
We need to face it.
What you need to face is you've been lied to, and you can't even blame anybody. You were gullible. And you believed that you were a listening community and that this station was not broadcasting. All right, kids, let's have a lesson. Let's think about these words. Broadcasting, that doesn't mean you're just casting to the skirts. Broadcasting means, let's think of a fisherman. If you're a broadcast, you're casting a broad net. You're trying to bring in all kinds of different fish. You're not just going for the halibut to have fun. That was not wordplay. Or bass. Or if you have a broad net and you're broadcasting, you're casting your net to bring in any fish or any creatures of the sea that you can. Narrow casting is, we built this whole station just so that we could narrowcast to you and all your friends who agree with you all the time. Well, let's take a look at this. Given the fact that we're a commercial enterprise, dependent upon ratings in order to get advertisers, which tactic do you think would be best? Broadcasting to everybody and assuming that people are intelligent and they can take a little bit of this, agree with this, disagree with that, move on with their life? Or are we going to make more money narrowcasting to this lady and all of her friends?
We need to face it. WSB is turning into another CNN.
I want to, again, it's that same, like with the guy before.
Yeah, tone.
That tone.
Yeah.
Like, there goes WSB again.
These are unhappy people. Unhappy people. You could just tell in there, they just love to fight.
Well, you'd be unhappy too if you couldn't get the news you wanted.
You can get the news that you want.
Not on WSB.
If you want exclusive, well, you got Rush Limbaugh after us for 3 hours. How many hours do you need?
I need to hear all the different kind of conservative perspectives.
Then you get an hour of Sean.
Well, it ain't enough.
Okay, it's 4 straight hours.
And I can't listen to Eric because he hates Trump.
Oh, now I know. I think, isn't Eric back on board?
I don't know. I ain't listened since he
Pence
said
are
he
good
didn't
friends.
like.
Have you ever had lunch with Mike Pence?
No,
haven't.
I would, though.
Eric Erickson has. Okay, so
I think
I wouldn't say
maybe they're working together to get rid of Trump.
Well, okay, whatever's going on in your mind, I suppose, is a possibility. But I want to say to, why do I want to call her Carol?
She seems like a Carol.
She seems like a Carol. So I'm just going to refer to her as Carol. So play her again.
We need to face it. WSB is turning into another CNN.
Well, Carol, the Von Haessler Doctrine is here to help always. And what you need to face is something that people are afraid to tell you, your friends, your family. It's gotten to the point now where we need an intervention. And you are boring the hell out of everybody in your life. They love you, Carol. We all love you. Carol's a nice person. She goes to church. She gives to charity. Whenever there's a hurricane, she goes out there. She's a nice person. Here's the problem with Carol. You go back to like the year 2000 or so. Carol could speak about a lot of things. She had a variety of things topics she could talk about. But ever since the election of Barack Obama, every time you're around Carol, she really is only interested in speaking about one thing. It used to be how much she hated the president. Now, it's the only difference is how much she loves the president. And Carol, what I'm saying to you as to the other guy, we'll call him Fred.
Fred?
Carol, Fred and Carol.
There goes WSB again.
Yeah. You are boring the hell out of everyone in your lives who love you. And what they would like to see every once in a while, a smile, a chuckle.
I can't smile at a time like this.
Yeah.
Come on, Fred.
Maybe just mindless nonsense every once in a while. Maybe just turn. You know how those lights with a dimmer switch. Yeah, you're way up all the time. Maybe you just want to pull it down for a little bit every once in a while. Dim it down. Just
little
a
ambiance.
Little ambiance.
All
Absolutely,
right.
absolutely. And here's the thing, Fred and Carol. When you associate with those who disagree with you, who are friendly people, just as you are. What you'll find is sometimes you'll be at a party amongst a bunch of different people. It'll be a good time. Hours will go by. And can you believe this? Sit down, Fred and Carol. The president's name, good or bad, never comes up. It is a possibility to have a conversation with another human being. And the president, good or bad, actually doesn't come up. And it doesn't mean that you've given up. It just means that you're, well, we call it well-rounded. A person who has many interests and many different things. And here's the bad news, Fred and Carol. Neither of you is going to change the world. Sorry. Okay, now what did you do? I feel as if I'm waiting for a comment from Fred.
Well, I was going to say here, now, every night we have a Laura Ingraham viewing party. We watch it live, and then we talk about it, then we watch it again.
That's his ambience.
That's my ambience.
So if your idea of a great talk show is one where you agree with everything that's being said, you're not using all of your brain capacity. That's a fact. What are we doing now?
I have one more open mic for you. All right. This is a little...
And by the way, that's not a criticism. I'm just trying to nudge you towards using... What do they say? Even the smartest ones of us only use 10% of our brain.
Yeah,
can you imagine that? Einstein only used 10% of his brain.
Imagine if I had used all of it.
Yeah, it might have been dangerous. I think you're better off cut off. You do have,
So they need the mental handicap, right?
Huh?
They need the mental handicap to hold them back.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think it's true that we only use 10% of our brain. That's ridiculous. Hey, you ever think about this? Your body temperature is being regulated all the time, and you never think about it. Yeah, but that ain't happening from your toes. It's happening from your brain, right?
Yeah.
I say we use all of our brain all the time. It's just that the brain helps us out by not making us think about everything all the time. The word discrimination actually used to be a positive word. We have to discriminate. The brain discriminates. What does Eric need to worry about, and what does he not? And the brain goes, you know what? There's like 90% of this stuff, like heart rate, body temperature. I think it's time to swallow now. That Eric really consciously shouldn't be thinking about. We'll leave, good times, bad times, neuroses. All of that is for Eric to enjoy in the 10%. But I think we use our whole brain.
Yeah, like right now, I'm not thinking about that time in 1978 when I lied and said I met Jimmy Carter during Show and Tell.
Yeah, well, you know
I'm
what?
still embarrassed by it, but you know what? It comes into my mind. I'm like, hey, I'm doing a radio show.
Are you still embarrassed? You're a kid.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
You're
still
a kid.
embarrassed.
I know.
know.
How old were you?
I was in third grade, so about 9, maybe.
All right, 9-year-old
8 or 9.
Tim Andrews goes on summer vacation, and much like a 9-year-old Eric von Haessler, grew up in a economic strata that really vacations were not a thing. You didn't pack up and go to
I went with my dad, but my mom never went anywhere.
But you didn't go to California.
No.
We were not the Brady Bunch. We're going to the Grand Canyon. To me, vacation was you didn't go to school.
Yeah.
That was basically it.
Here's a coloring book.
You played with your friends. So you came, and I loved summer just for that reason. So you came back, and it was like, well, what did you kids do? Show and tell. What did you do for summer? And somebody had done something cool, and you thought, I can't just say I was sitting around.
It was after 3 Mile Island, so when President Carter went and addressed people at 3 Mile Island, I said my grandparents took me there, and I got to meet him.
Oh, but no pictures.
No, of course not. We didn't have selfies then.
Didn't happen.
There was Polaroid. People did take pictures.
And then that night...
my kid was with the President of the United States. I didn't think to get a picture.
Yeah. Well, then the teacher called my mother.
Yeah.
And then asked if that was true, and of course it wasn't. And then she said, well, does he have a Shetland pony?
Oh, did you tell everybody you had a Shetland pony?
Yeah, I said I had a Shetland pony. I had a name, and then I had a...
What was the name of the Shetland pony?
I don't remember that.
Powder?
No, it wasn't Powder. And then the next day in class, she told all the students that I'd lied, and I had to stand up.
That's horrible.
And she said, now, who in this room likes Tim?
No!
So all those people, even people who didn't like me, were forced to put their hands up, and I felt just awkward.
Of course.
Yeah.
They might as well have been You know, it's like that short story, The Lottery.
Yeah.
You line up there and everybody throws rocks at you. And the teacher's like, go for it. That's a horrible teacher. You want to know why? Because teachers, not all teachers, but many teachers get caught up in process and they don't spot creativity. You've lived a life of creativity. You do all the voices, you do the stuff. If teachers weren't all locked into a box and told what this is and this personality and that type, a good teacher would have said, this kid's got an active imagination. Let's do something with that. Let's give him things where he can use his active imagination so he doesn't have to keep on lying. Let's teach him that he can actually make things up, like a play or something, and it's okay.
Well, see, he remembered it, so obviously he learned his lesson.
Oh yeah. It's, no doubt it was scarring. You know what? He's using 11% of his brain. He's got that 1% of teacher shame that's always there.
Get your daily dose of comic relief with Eric Von Haessler mornings at 9. Then shake off the daily stress.
It's gonna be alright.
With Mark Aram weeknights at 6 on 95.5 WSB.
You're saying one of my two dads is running the board for the AM 750 impeachment show?
Yeah, down in one of our older studios.
Let's tune in over there and see what's going on with the impeachment.
You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order.
Already.
They're out of order.
Yeah, it's getting more exciting over there than I thought. Hey, I was thinking I think I started a thread about an hour ago, and I didn't finish it. I get easily knocked off and go into different things because we improvise. But I think I started, and if you're listening to the podcast, you could edit this together from an hour ago to now to get the other part of this, which is that I think that the answer here, because he's not going to be removed, is the same as the answer should have been in the 90s with Clinton, and it's called censure. You can censure a sitting president, and that goes on the record. And if enough people, and you would probably get a handful of Republicans on the Senate side to join in, that would be in the House, but you could probably get some Republicans in the House to join in the censure. That's the road that probably should have happened in the 90s and absolutely should happen now. See, that music has started. And but I still have 25 seconds before I have to break.
Well, we have tons of open mics. I have Adam Schiff talking when we start.
Adam Schiff?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he gave his opening statement. We got some
Do you love this? This is what I love. I love the way the news, how hard they try to make Adam Schiff in the photos in the news look like a founding father. It's just impossible. Like AOC makes it easy. You can make her look like a revolutionary hero. Schiff, not so easy to make look heroic. Hour 3, there you go, of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins now. I am looking at what is it that I'm looking at? The
impeachment inquiry.
Yeah, that. Thank you, Robert De Niro. And, first of all, the guy up there now, I didn't know George Stein. No, it's not George Stein. Just he looks down.
So, he
looks a little bit like George Stein.
A guy told me that.
Who's that? Bill Taylor?
Yeah, Bill Taylor.
Yeah. And then the other guy, his name Kelly or
George
something?
Kent.
George Kent.
Clark Kent.
Yeah, he wears a bow tie. Sorry. I'm sorry. If you're in politics in any way, if you're a politician or you're a pundit or you're the anchor of the evening news, Eric Von Haessler sees a bow tie? Nope, not listed to you. Hey, look at me, I'm that guy. That's how I stand out. Well, it's part of my branding. Hey, maybe you might want to drop the branding when you're coming in front of impeachment. Nah, people know me in the bureaucracy. I'm the guy with the bow tie.
Who's the guy on Fox that hosts the panels afterward? He has a bow tie a lot.
Well, no.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I call this guy, I think if we're thinking about the same guy, I call him Mr. Remote Control, because whenever I see him, the first thing I do, the guy who kind of looks like
it's usually right after a debate. He comes
like an overweight Kennedy.
Yeah.
Like what did I do? That's they all end up overweight, but he's young. What's it? Frank something. He does all the polling which I can't stand. The whole concept that, hey, we went out on the street, we got 16 people to sit here in the studio. They're your average Joe. Yeah, Oh, yeah. They went through 30 minutes of makeup and they're under lighting for the first time, and everything they're saying is being captured forever on cameras. But they're just the average Joe. They're not affected by this at all. Frank Lutz or some Muntz.
That sounds right.
Bow tie and sneakers.
Yes, all the time.
Mr. Remote Control.
Hey.
I mean, I got nothing against him. He's making his money. Fine. I don't care. I hate those things. Except when we do them. I think they're fantastic when we do them. But when I do, every once in a while I have to remind myself that I do get a paycheck from WSB. So any kind of criticism that I give to the media and coverage of politics, just know that none of it is aimed right here at good old WSB. Take that bow tie off. Remember, Tucker Carlson used to wear a bow tie.
I was going to say, he'll bring it back now.
He used to wear a bow tie. That was his thing. That's my brand. That's who I am. You'll remember me from all these panels because I wear a bow tie.
Nope.
And Tucker Carlson is made of such weak fiber that Jon Stewart, when he hosted The Daily Show, was on as a guest on the old show called Crossfire on CNN, which was the first of these shows as far as 24-hour networks go, the kind that we know now where left, right, and they debate and blah, 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 blah. Jon Stewart's on once, and he starts making fun of, look at you, you're wearing a bow tie. Oh, guess what? CNN was so afraid of not being hip because Jon Stewart, roasted them, that I think the show was canceled within weeks. And you didn't see Tucker Carlson for a good long time. And then the next time you saw him, no bow tie. I mean, that's no fiber. First of all, choosing to be the guy who wears the bow tie for branding purposes on pundit panels, bad idea. But you did it. And then one comedian comes on and makes fun of you, and we never see the bow tie again. But now, Tucker Carlson actually has a new brand. It's Tucker Carlson Unwatchable. I guess he gets great ratings. I don't know how. I can't watch more than 7 minutes because if when the other person's talking and they keep the camera on Tucker Carlson, he looks like a lost dog pondering a stop sign. That's the only way I can put it. It's just
that gawk.
Yeah. And then Tucker Carlson is actually a very smart person and actually believes in debate in both sides and is a long-established member of the establishment. Been around forever. I think grew up in D.C.
And you go to Dartmouth?
Yeah. I mean, that's not against him. I'm just saying he's not a Trumper by nature. He's a Trumper by need of ratings. And you can tell they have these people on. I call it like the producers for that show. I guess okay, what kind of fish are we going to toss in the barrel today? Hey, you got another wacky professor from Evergreen State who's going to say that we should enslave white people? Okay, yeah. It's like there's no debate, They get like the easiest things. And then every once in a while, this is what drove me crazy last year, a couple of years ago. I was like, I can't watch this. But every once in a while, they would push a guest as so-and-so believes such and such, and that's obviously the exact opposite of what I believe and what you believe. And then the interview starts, and within the first 2 minutes, the guy starts basically saying, well, I agree with you mostly. And then if Tucker starts to turn, the way these TV shows go, you got people hammering you in your ear. These TV shows are run by producers who lose their job if you lose ratings. Therefore, that keeps them from being afraid of the big bad host, and they will yell at them in their ear all the time. If you ever watch these shows, you'll every once in a while go, okay. They're doing the show and being screamed at. So if Tucker Carlson were ever to acquiesce, like, oh, I'm sorry, like a human being, oh, you know what? I was told that we were told. Obviously,
don't apologize.
No.
Keep going.
Okay, and then so you'll hear him just reset the topic after the person has basically said, no, I don't believe those things. So you believe those things? Did I not? Am I in a?
Hit him harder.
Did I feel him fall into
losing viewers?
It's a game, people. It's a game. There's nothing wrong with it being a game. The important thing is that you understand it's a game. Me personally, I think Tucker's playing out of type. I think Tucker is a very reasonable person who enjoys talking to people who disagree with him, but he's got the prime spot, and he's got he came in for O'Reilly, who was a natural at what he did. He was a natural. It's not like you have to make it up to do it. People have different natures. They have different demeanors and dispositions. And Tucker Carlson's disposition was not O'Reilly's disposition. But the paycheck for adopting O'Reilly's disposition was well worth going for. So he dropped the bow tie. I'll give him that, but he never should have put it up there. Yeah, Jon Stewart. One comedian makes fun of him. That'd be like going to a comedy club with your wife or your girlfriend. The comedian makes one crack about her hair, and you break up with her after the show.
Oh, look at that awful.
That comedian was right. Have we even started anything?
We haven't.
Mike, or what do you want to do?
Well, we can open up the headlines.
Let's open up the headlines.
More headlines for Wednesday, November 13th.
Hell yeah.
Just like that, headlines are born.
Uh-huh.
Well, I have some audio.
Stinks in here, though. Right.
Well, wash it off.
It's kind of disgusting.
I have some
headlines are like a bloody sausage.
I have some audio from the big hearings that are going on behind us and on AM 750.
I got some. Look, I can go over to AM 750 right now and see what they're doing right at this moment. See what's going on. What's going on over there?
Cigars, cigarettes. Cigars, cigarettes.
Oh, it must be like an intermission. Yeah, I guess the bow tie guy turned them off. A little intermission. Yeah. Well, what happened earlier?
Adam
Schiff is he's the leader of this circus that's going on. So what did Adam Schiff, who it's very funny to watch the not newspapers, but the news try to find photos of him that make him look like a founding father. It's impossible. He looks like who was that comic actor that was on the Mel Brooks movies? Played Igor.
Oh, Marty Feldman?
Marty Feldman. You can't make Marty Feldman look like George Washington, but they try.
I now recognize myself to give an opening statement in the impeachment inquiry into Donald J. Trump, the 45th President of the United States.
Well, at least, hey, here's the good news. If you're a Trumper, at least he actually admitted that he accepts the fact that Donald J. Trump won the election and is the President of the United States.
Progress.
Oh, glass half full action there for you.
And to keep it fair, that was the left side. Now we've got Devin Nunes.
Oh, keep it fair. Left side, right side. It's a television show, for heaven's sakes. Keep it interesting.
Here's Devin Nunes speaking on the hearings as well.
What we will witness today is a televised theatrical performance staged by the Democrats.
Then this happened.
The court must be satisfied that this line of questioning has some bearing on the case.
I don't know what's going on. This is some old Southern guy played by Orson Welles showed up.
Oh, it was Harry Morgan.
Was it Harry Morgan?
Yeah, it was from Inherit the Wind.
Oh, I thought Orson Welles in that one?
No,
he was in the Scopes trial one.
Yeah.
What was that called? Forsake the Wind?
No. That was the Inherit the Wind.
Well, then he's in there.
Orson Welles is in that movie?
Yeah, he's in there as well.
I don't remember.
Oh, this is the guy.
Bird's eye peas.
This is the guy from MASH?
Yeah.
The court must be satisfied that this line of questioning has some bearing on the case.
Horse feathers.
All right.
So if you want more of the hearings, go over to AM 750, the WSB Radio app, or WSBRadio.com for more of that stuff going on.
Here's stuff like this.
Mrs. Kramer, can you tell the court why you are asking for custody?
What the hell is going on over there? Things have just completely gotten out of weird, strange, out of control. Are they watching movies? Is that what they're
that's what they're doing?
That's what it is. Yeah. That's right, Alan. Now I figured it out. One of my two dads, one of my program directors, is running the board for the AM 750
impeachment inquiry.
Thank you, Bobby De Niro. And quite obviously, he got bored and he pulled up Hulu. So when you go over there, what you're really going to hear is stuff like,
"You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth."
It's more exciting over there than I thought. I don't know why you'd leave here, but I guess there's a reason. What do you got?
Well, I've got a huge local story that we haven't touched on yet.
Trae Young dropping 42 points for the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, he did look amazing last night.
Good D by Murray. Young takes it. Makes it! Trae Young with 33, and that's his 8th three to tie his personal best.
There's something I want to... he listens. I met him. And,
Bob Rathman.
Yeah, we met him the other day. He's like, I listen all the time. I have evidence that Neek listens too because of something that I said that he said later. I want to go into it because if Dominique's listening, then that's fantastic. But I'm all for it. But I want to say, can we take that highlight thing on YouTube from Trae Young last night and put a link to it on whatever our social medias are? Because how
long is it?
It's like 2.5 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. Well, if you can handle it, I just, for people who aren't on board yet or don't care, Watch that 2.5 minutes and then tell me why you are not super proud that this dude is in your city representing your team. Now, if you hate basketball, you hate basketball. But I'm talking to everybody else. Yes, Jared.
And when we come back, well, I have some amazing news for the University of Georgia.
Amazing.
And their football program. Yeah. You don't want to go anywhere because we'll tell you exactly what's going on with that as soon as we get
if you're
back.
a Bulldogs fan and you don't know already, I don't know how much of a fan you are. But we will talk about it when we get back. Sorry, we're trying to figure out Super Bowl history for some reason. I was thinking,
going on all the sports stuff.
I would not. What I would like to do is we don't really have enough time because we're doing these hard breaks to bring people into our world, our vernacular. We have hard breaks today because we have the special. What are we covering? It's the Bobby De Niro. Help me.
Impeachment inquiry.
Yeah. But I do want to get in. When we get back, I'm going to get into this story about Colin Kaepernick. And what are they using? The Falcons practice facility?
Yeah, up in Flowery Branch.
It's going to be this Saturday.
Don't forget the Dogs, too. Big news with them.
Is Colin Kaepernick going to be their quarterback?
You never know.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah, go back to school.
You going back? I think go, Colin. Yeah, so far, we have the impeachment hearings over on AM 750. I found it. So we're doing this unique thing where we're keeping our regular programming on 95.5 FM, and then if you want to really be bored, or maybe you just need to calm down. I don't know, get your blood pressure down. I don't know, bring your blood pressure up. I don't know, but if you want what is it going on over there, Bobby De Niro?
Impeachment inquiry.
Yeah, if you want to listen to that. That's over on AM 750. But I just found out it's not the only thing. It's not just the impeachment inquiry that we have over on AM 750. All the erectile dysfunction ads are now on AM 750. That may or may not be true.
Impeachment inquiry.
The impeachment inquiry.
I don't need that stuff.
You don't need that, huh?
No.
And you're still getting it going?
No.
All right.
Sometimes.
You ready to do this right here? Hey, Alan. Hey, let's do this right here. It's just, Sabrina, leave him alone.
It's the stories you just couldn't miss. It's the Doctrinaires.
She gets in the Hall of Fame, and she can just do whatever she wants.
Yeah, she gets in the Georgia Radio Hall of Fame, and now she's, hey, I want this and I want that.
Big time.
Distracted. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
That's the way it goes.
Must be nice.
All right, we were going to talk about Colin Kaepernick.
2 sports stories. Number 1, Georgia ranked 4th in the latest college football playoff poll.
Ahead of Alabama.
Ahead of Alabama.
Hey, Alabama, next year you might want to schedule a team. I mean, they played nobody until they played somebody and they got killed.
Yeah. Well, it's a good game between LSU and Alabama. It was good. A good game. It ended up being...
It was like 27-9
Oh, did you not see the comeback they made? They made a great comeback. It ended up being very close to the end.
Well, those kind of things, the defense goes bend, don't break, right?
Yeah.
I did see that one that was stupid for LSU to go into the kind of defense when they had the game in the bag with like 3 minutes left. I was watching. It was a good second half, but they for some reason they decided in that case you're just supposed to keep all the receivers in front of you. They really didn't have a chance. If they pick up 30 yards, who cares? Just tackle the guy. But they played man to man, and it looked like he just flicked the ball and it went like 80. The run and catch went 80 yards.
Final score of that game ended up being 46-41. So Alabama hung in there. Most people are pretty upset with Georgia making it into the 4 that qualify for it.
We know that Georgia has a lot to prove too, given what happened to South Carolina. But Alabama doesn't. I know, yeah, but Alabama. This schedule was nothing. Nothing until I agree with that LSU coach. What did he say after it was all over?
This is great. A little colorful audio from Coach Ed.
We're going to beat their ass in recruiting. We're going to beat their ass every time they see us. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Roll Tide, what? You.
Yeah! All right. First of all, you're leading children.
I hadn't heard that.
Secondly, you won one game. Let's pump the brakes a little bit about you're going to beat him at every single thing ever of all time. But he's a great coach. And, I don't know. I'm glad that Alabama fell that far because Georgia has a path and they have to prove themselves to get there. We know that.
Win and in for UGA.
But
that's all I got to think.
Hey, Crimson Tide, toss a halfway decent. We play the Mizzous and stuff. They're not great teams, but they're not awful.
That's what they shut out, right?
Did we shut out Mizzou?
We did shut out Mizzou, but the important thing is that we've played Notre Dame, Florida, and we have Auburn still on the schedule.
Alabama played nobody until they played LSU, I think. Somebody look at the
played the SEC West, which is not
well, you got to play that no matter what. But I'm just saying that they just didn't have anybody.
Right. They need to schedule.
They played a tough game and a tough team, and then they got it.
Mississippi State, Auburn. Well, they haven't played Auburn yet. But they, never mind.
But the whole damn schedule.
But to Eric's point, though, they need to play.
Hey, this is WSB. Go Dogs.
No, really,
what to say.
Well,
they need to play like
dogs have to do this and that, and then
they need to play a Big Ten or a Pac-12 team, and early in the season.
Pac-12 stinks.
Oregon,
this is so Oregon. Terrible.
Arkansas is not a good team.
No,
did they used to be?
They used to be. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, don't say no. They were but they had a good. Alan says in the 70s, but they had a good thing going until that coach that left the Falcons. Then he goes to Arkansas, Petrino, and then he's got a good thing going. They got a good team, and then he gets in a motorcycle accident with his mistress on the. She works for the college. Sorry, recruits, you're going nowhere. No NFL for you. I'm gone.
So Georgia's
like coaching a high school team now or something.
So Georgia's ranked 4th in the latest college football playoff poll. But I promise you 2 sports stories. The next one is that NFL clubs were informed yesterday that a private workout will be held for Colin Kaepernick on Saturday up in Flowery Branch.
Now people. This is why the Falcons. It's not about the Falcons. It's an open workout, and all teams are invited. Now, here's the thing with Colin Kaepernick. You have to understand, it's not, you can't just work out. There's a thing called football shape. There's a thing called game shape. Ezekiel Elliott, first couple of games back after holding out of camp, not looking so great. It's not enough just to be in shape for NFL football. You have to play the games and be in game shape. Kaepernick is so full of BS. And this is what, there was a Kaepernick could be back in the NFL right now. Here's how. First of all, he walked away from $10 million. He quit. He was not fired from the 49ers. That's another thing. He should have gone to Canada. There's no anthem problem. As a matter of fact, and I don't think they play any American teams, right? So there's no dual anthem days. So the Canadian national anthem plays, and they changed their national anthem to get more politically correct. He should have no problem with it. Doug Flutie kind of didn't work out the first time around with the Patriots in the NFL. He went to the CFL and won 3 Grey Cups, their equivalent of the Super Bowl. Ended up coming back to the NFL, having a decent career. Warren Moon, the NFL didn't have any interest. He went to the CFL for 6 years and just tore it up, and then came and had a great career in the NFL. For all reasons, if Colin Kaepernick really wanted this career, he should have 2 years ago entered the CFL. He would have broken Colin Kaepernick would be the best player on any team in the Canadian Football League. He would have broken every record. He would have won however number many of Grey Cups that he was available for. He could have done it. You ever see a high school team that has one guy who's the best guy in the field? He's the running back, and just every play as you hand it to every play in the CFL could have been Colin Kaepernick running until he needed to pass, and he would have broken every record. And for that reason, and being in game shape, he would have been in the NFL by now. Then there's an easy strategy to get back in as far as the kneeling. If he had smart people around him, good advisors, all right, you come back from the Canadian Football League and you don't give up your beliefs or anything. You just have a press conference and you say, look, kneeling was a way for me. I felt we needed to start a conversation. That conversation got going, and now we move to the next phase. I'm going back to the NFL. These are the 3 programs that I put my name on that we'll be doing community outreach with. I've gotten a deal with Roger Goodell, whatever. And I'm not going to be kneeling anymore because I feel like that got the conversation started. This was not that difficult. And when people, I'm sure all the woke warriors online or everybody on, and I can tell he's not going in the right direction. Because part of the story when I was driving in was Kaepernick's people say they're going to get a list of which teams attend and which don't. Because if you don't attend, you're obviously a racist organization. It couldn't be that you're perfectly happy with your starting and backup quarterbacks and you got a game to worry about next week. Next time I'm out of work on radio, I'm not going to go to radio stations. I'm just going to set up a podcast in my basement, and I'm going to invite all the general managers of radio stations to come into my basement and watch me do radio. You know what I'm watching? Actually, I watched it in 2 nights. I watched it because I started it very late, and it's only like an hour and a half or something. But there's a new Johnny Cash documentary. It's a YouTube original. Now, I'm one of the beautiful people. I have YouTube Red. So I don't know if you get it just on YouTube, if you just go to YouTube, or you have to have YouTube Red. But it's called The Gift, The Journey of Johnny Cash. And the reason it's so great is I'm a huge Johnny. I cried, like, when he died. For a week, I would spontaneously break out in tears like it would remember my family died. And I hated the movie. I appreciate Joaquin Phoenix as an actor. I hated his Johnny Cash. I hated that movie because that was not Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash was not a dumb drug addict. He was a very smart drug addict. There's a big difference. But when I watched that movie, it was like, where's the poet?
Yeah.
This guy was a poet. Where is that? And like they do always in Hollywood, they just went for the drug thing. And then the movie ends and you think he's totally clean. Well, that's not the truth. His worst drug addiction happened in the 80s. And so it didn't really tell the story. It just did a formula thing. Reese Witherspoon was fantastic as June Carter, but I did not like that depiction. It just seemed like he just mumbled.
Yeah, like he was an idiot.
Like he was a dummy.
Yeah.
And if all you have to do is read the liner notes to American Recordings. And when I was watching I Walk the Line, I'm like, where's this guy? Where's this guy talking about being in his room, looking out his window? And that's in this. It's not a perfect documentary, but a couple things that are really good about it is it has all the people talking, like you would expect a documentary to have, but you never see them. It's all done with either photos and stuff like that, or they just do cinematic stuff with buses and things, trains, and so you never see, you don't see, you hear Bruce Springsteen and Rodney Crowell and all these people. And it's funny to tell you how good this documentary is as opposed to I Walk the Line, which got it completely wrong. I mean, the song, and here's the thing, when you're watching something about somebody that you really know about and you learn something new, that's a good documentary. But it didn't even, what I learned new, or not learned new, but a new way to look at the song I Walk the Line was so obvious once I think it's Rodney Crowell who says it, was never explored in the movie called I Walk the Line. And and maybe Rodney Crowell's wrong, and maybe I can't think it. They're talking about the song I Walk the Line, and they're making the point that there's nothing before it that sounds like it at all. Like most music, you can always identify, this, that, the other. But the tempo, the rhythm, the way that he does his singing, that weird stuff that comes between. There's no other song before it that you can point to and say, oh, well, he was obviously listening to this and that. And what's great about it is like 40% of it is just Johnny Cash's words. Somebody did an interview with him, I don't know what year, that was extensive, and they just pull. So it's almost as if he's narrating. And he tells us, wouldn't this be good in the movie if this is real? He said that when he was in the Army, they would, he bought a reel-to-reel tape recording machine, and all of his buddies liked it. They get together, they play music, and they would tape it. And accidentally, he messed up one taping, and it only taped on one side, and it was warped a little bit, whatever. And when he played it back, it had that, and that's where it came from. And it was applied to I Walk the Line. And it just, something shows you what a terrible movie that was. It was called I Walk the Line. And I don't remember that scene. Maybe I forget it.
They explored it as him writing it. He's going to be straight for his wife or not cheat or something like that.
Yeah, well, and that's what the song's about. But the song is actually ironic.
Yeah.
As all Johnny Cash is deep. And so if you like him and you had to pretend you liked that movie, I never pretended that I liked the movie. I just thought the depiction of him was, the best joke about that movie was, I think Chris Rock at the Academy Awards, I think he was the host. He said, what did he say? Something like, well, if you haven't seen I Walk the Line yet, it's a rave for white people. It was the same story.
Yeah, it was.
It was the same. It's like, because that's all they know how to do is to zero in on one thing. They don't know how to present a brilliant, original. That's the hardest thing for people to sum up because you see it so rarely. An absolute original, a unique individual, and a unique artist. They missed it in the movie. They got it right on this. I know you're thinking, I don't listen to WSB to get movie reviews. Well, too bad. Why are you pointing at the mic flag?
Well, because once Rush begins, we're still going to continue our simulcast of the impeachment hearings on AM 750.
It's not a simulcast, it's a Bivercast.
A Bivercast?
Here, you'll be listening to Rush. If you want the impeachment inquiry, you go over there to AM 750 Rush. You don't want them to go over there.
Oh, stay here. We've got
There's
phones.
nothing to it. There's nothing
I'll
to it.
tell you what's going on. There's nothing to it. It's all manufactured in an outrage factory in Taiwan.
It's all manufactured.
All manufactured.
I hear, you know what? I can tell you nothing's going on because I'm looking at the banners on all the different 24-hour news networks, and nothing big. It's just so-and-so is testifying, so I don't think anything's happened yet. All right, we're going to go. Join us for the Podcast 30. Go to WSB Radio Facebook page or our Facebook page. Join us there. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. All right, that crappy music tells you that the Podcast 30 has begun. We got a skeleton crew, and we got work to do. I'm not going to be here on Friday, which we wouldn't have to do this if I hadn't gotten sick a couple weeks ago. And we had to run and Jared Yamamoto ran some of the new stuff.
Yeah,
so now we not only have to
deliver.
We have to do 2 segments.
Two,
because after the show tomorrow, there will be no Podcast 30 because I have to turn and burn. I have to be at the airport by 3, and who knows what the traffic's going to be. I want to just get the hell out of here.
But the good news is...
I have to be on the plane by 3. I have to be at the airport earlier than that.
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
But the good news is today's podcast might go a little bit longer, so it's kind of like some bonus content.
It's kind of bonus, but people get mad when we do the radio show and the podcast.
Who gets mad at that?
Everybody. Oh, my gosh.
How do you know?
Oh, they firebombed my house last time.
Oh.
Yeah, believe me, I had to hire security.
Wasn't your shirtless neighbor, was it?
No. Ukraine Willie? I don't know.
Stop it with the fireworks.
All right.
So I think we start with Doctrine Extra, the end of the show. So you'll
This
have...
will be the end of Friday's show.
Yes, this will be the end of Friday's show. So you'll...
Stop stealing my bits.
That's okay. I'll be on in 6 minutes. Followed by Sean Hannity.
For a minute.
That's right. I'm on for an hour. Jam-packed.
All right, now.
So what we'll do is I've got.
You tell me. You be my producer. You tell me. Do me whatever. I always want to be like that guy in Being There. Just point me. Tell me what.
I take care of the garden.
That's the kind of life I used to want. I wanted that kind of not fame but level of success in radio where I would just have handlers, and they would go, "You're at Clark's Christmas Kids. You need to get people to give to." Okay, and then I would just plug in, right?
Yeah.
This is I want to be a politician. I always had this idea for a politician who would have a thing in his ear, and there's everywhere he goes, no matter who he meets. That's Fred Johnson. You met him 3 years ago.
Hey, Fred. Nice.
Hi, Fred. How are the kids? Is Molly? Is she still in college? Just have a thing. Be a great way to live, though. And it's like
And have that hot Shirley MacLaine from the late '70s on your arm.
You liked her? I liked her in The Apartment.
Well, sure, she's cutie there, but I mean, she's a woman in.
I find that people that are too handled like that, though, are generally bad with new technology.
Well, that's where you have the other guy do it.
I know, but that's bad, though. Don't you still kind of want to, I don't know how to look up a contact in my phone or something
I just like the idea of I'm just a total plug and play. You just give me the information, you put me in a situation. I don't know, he just always hits it out of the ballpark. I don't want to drive myself there.
Well, that would be great if you
Sometimes my friend Stefan will be my handler.
Well, there's a service for there are apps, like Uber or Lyft, where you can.
Huh? Order one for me.
You still haven't downloaded it, have you? You still haven't downloaded it.
I got DoorDash though.
Okay,
so I'm just getting started.
You're such a contrarian. Like that's the least of the good ones.
It worked for me.
I
once.
know it worked once.
That was something I liked about it. I don't know. I didn't like the idea of that Uber guy. What's he doing? He's either giving a ride or he's doing this or I don't know.
Postmates is really good.
I thought that was.
Postmates is very good.
I didn't know Postmates is the thing where they have a bicycle and they ride everything to your house
on
on
a
a bicycle.
They do not bring it in a bicycle.
Well, that's false advertising. It's a guy on a bicycle.
I know.
I thought it was a Post-it note thing. Postmates.
No, they don't deliver Post-it today. Hey, do you need Post-it notes? And you don't have time to go to the grocery store?
I swear to you, I didn't know. I thought it was a computer version of Post-it notes.
No.
Okay.
That's sticky notes.
Sticky notes, right? I got a few of those, but they're highly erotic tales.
Are you ready?
All right.
Let me make sure I've got the right one here. Okay, here we go. All right, starting.
So this is 11:30 Friday.
Correct. So remember, you have 2 segments that are relatively
how it goes.
Okay, all
Do
right.
it every damn day. Is that his mating call?
Yeah. Hong Kong. Hong Kong.
Okay, here we go. Starting hour 3, seg 3 in 3, 2, 1.
All right. My producer. You ever met him?
Jared?
Jared Yamamoto.
Mm-hmm.
A very astute cat. I don't really trust him as far as I can throw him, but he's really good at producing. So he
You don't
tells
trust me? 5 years of us working together, you don't trust me yet?
Yeah, that's all the data I need. 5 years of information. That's all hey, look, it's fine. I'm trying to give you a compliment.
I was wondering why your eyes, that Terminator thing,
Yeah.
you're always scanning data. You're like, unreliable
I'm trying
producer.
to give you a compliment. Although, maybe not the most trustworthy person, a damn fine producer. Do you not know how to accept a compliment,
You know what?
Jared
I
Yamamoto?
accept your compliment. Thank you, sir.
He tells me that we got to do a big old segment here. What are we doing in this segment? What are we doing?
What we always do.
Well,
Aaron.
you know what? Surprise me.
It's the stories we just couldn't miss.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Doctrine Extra.
I didn't see that coming.
It's all phony baloney.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing, people. Wisen up. It's all headlines. We just, break it up for you so you don't have to
You got to give a different name. That's it. Branding. That's how it works.
You can't eat a whole steak at once, right? You chop it up. We deliver it to you in bite-sized pieces.
Bite-sized chunks.
Chunks. Sorry. Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces. Bite-sized chunks. I get confused sometimes. It's okay. I've got too much saliva in my mouth right now. It happens with the Haesslers.
Of course.
We create a lot of saliva.
Well, you've been talking a lot.
And it's not that. It's just, we create a lot of saliva. My youngest said, did I get this from you? I said, yeah, and I got it from my father before me. Our mouths create too much saliva. When I go to the dentist, they just keep that thing on the whole time. Just.
Oh, yeah.
There's no need to ever stop, because the moment you stop, the pool fills.
So strange, because Germans aren't known for their orator skills.
No. So I'm worried. I don't have the rabies thing going, right?
No.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, you're good. Plus, they get rid of it now. You don't need those shots in the stomach.
No, I know it's not rabies. I'm just saying sometimes it looks like rabies. One time I was with my producer. You ever hear him?
Jared Yamamoto?
Yeah.
He's Japanese, right?
Well, no, he's Bolivian.
And Japanese.
And Japanese.
Okay.
And Native American.
A damn fine producer, but not so trustworthy. And so I was, we did a couple outings where we didn't out people, but we were out doing things
Jared
for the radio station. And I was giving, sometimes I give speeches and stuff or whatever.
We both gave a speech.
That's right. Yeah. And after it was over, he's standing next to me the whole time. I'm standing in front of a group of students, college kids. And we're driving on the way home. He goes, man, you really had that saliva thing going. Like you had rabies. Hey, could you tell me at the time? Could you knock me a little bit? This guy, this reminds me. This is a Doctrine Extra. Another time I was with Jared Yamamoto. He convinced me to speak to the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know where. Alpharetta?
I believe it was Alfred.
I remember it was when the bridge collapsed. We had to get back into town. It was all. But he knew somebody and he said, okay, fine. I'll speak to the Chamber of Commerce. For 3 weeks, I said, Jared, what do they want me to say? What's the theme? What? He said, oh, come on. You're Eric. You'll get up there and they'll tell you you're good. You're good. You get up there, you do your thing. You'll be fine. So I brought that attitude. I'll get up there. I'll talk, whatever. And then toward the end of my talk, because it was all improvised, I think it went very well. But by the end, I somehow got around to how I started in radio and my little journey in radio. And when it was over, and I go to Jared Yamamoto, he says, well, finally, at the end, you got to it. That's what they wanted to hear about, your story, your journey. For 3 weeks, I asked this kid, what do they want to hear?
Well, to be fair, y'all's old intern over at the regular guys.
Y'all's-o?
Y'all's-o intern? Is that their name?
Y'all's-o intern.
I remember Y'all's-o. She was a good intern.
Half Bolivian, half South Korean.
Yeah.
Yes. She was a wonderful lady.
Yeah.
She didn't give any specifics for that speech and said,
Yeah, well,
basically, you can do whatever you want.
Okay, then you get
and
then when
then
I'm
she
done,
whispered to me, she's like, oh, thank goodness. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I guess that's what it was supposed to be.
Well, maybe it was your job to get it out of her.
You know, I should have needled a little bit more, but I expected that somebody, an intern of the regular guys, would be well-trained.
Y'all's-o. The best one we ever had.
Yeah.
Well-trained because you guys taught them the best of the best.
I didn't teach him anything.
I didn't teach him anything.
Hey, you want to come over and hang out later? That's
You don't want to know what Tim Andrews taught any interns. All right, what do you have?
All right, I've got a
statute of limitations. All. Yeah,
well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Got a survey here in Doctrine Extra.
Yeah.
This is from the American.
Is this studies, surveys, and Doctrine Extra?
No, they can. You can have some studies and surveys
Extras,
in here.
doctrines, and surveys.
Sure.
Okay.
This is from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine.
They are good.
And
when it comes to sleep medicine.
Yes, they are.
Anything else, they're a little bit wobbly.
And they have found that 88% of U.S. adults sacrifice sleep to binge watch TV shows, which I totally believe. That makes sense.
That makes sense to me. Who paid for this survey? You just could have asked me.
Well, that would have been the American Academy of Sleep Medicine.
I probably would have thrown that about, I don't know, probably 84, 85%.
Let's watch one more.
Because people are dumb. You know, when I say people are dumb, I'm including myself. You know, this week I've gotten a lot of sleep. I'm learning my lesson, getting to the old double nickel, 55-year-old. I used to be able to stay awake. Man, I would tell you something. In my 20s, at least 3 times I remember staying awake for 3 days, doing things, being active, being present. I mean, I could just go and go and go and go. And the problem with that is that as you age, you still think you can do that. Now, I don't try to stay awake for 3 days now, but I do try to make the weekends. I'm still waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, but I'm still awake at 2 in the morning. You know, I'm not going to sleep. I only had to. And man, did I feel it last week. Woo, I felt it. And so now, starting on the weekend, I'm just like, you know, I'm getting 7 to 8 hours. Just have to, and you feel so much better. By the way, these shows ain't that great. It's not worth wrecking your health over. Watch them on the weekends.
Well, I think the 18 to 44-year-olds would disagree because 95% of them have admitted to losing sleep.
Who cares about the 18 to 44? Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
Every single entity. Yeah. Every single advertiser in the world cares.
Probably one of the surprising stats that when you break down this poll a little bit more is that...
Did you break it down?
I did break it down.
That's why he's good. Dishonest, but good. Does the work. Yes.
Women make up a majority of night readers.
Night readers?
Night readers, so they like to read books.
Because that, no, I don't, yeah. Well, or, what Prince Harry's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's women reading at night, my guess is it's a lot of, can you believe that Prince Harry? Yeah, I don't think that, who's the other one? Prince William? I don't think Prince William likes Meghan Markle. Who gives a damn? You live in England? Even if I lived in England, I wouldn't give a damn.
But only 60
I New England.
Yeah, I got a feeling you still shouldn't give a damn. I got a feeling that whatever women are reading at night, it isn't War and Peace.
But only 61% of men are reading at night. That's a little alarming. More men are watching or streaming things.
Yeah, well, because men are just animals. They just.
I listen to audiobooks so I can play my game.
Yeah. Nobody's reading anything worth reading, are they?
Don't think so.
For me. Except for me, 5,000 steps ahead of the audience at all times in every way. I don't mean to brag, but I was born this way.
Is that a bottom of the hour segment?
No, this is the weird 11:30. So remember, this is the last segment, but it's going to be about 7 minutes.
We have 2 chunks. Or what was the other thing I said?
I don't remember, but I like chunks.
That was my nickname.
Please
Chunks.
don't isolate that. You want to know what my nickname was? I've never told you.
It was not my nickname.
I had a nickname in high school. 2 that I hated. One of them was constipation.
Why? Did you have a serious look on your face at all times?
This kid was stupid. In gym, our gym locker room didn't have doors. Mm-hmm. And, nature calls.
Yeah.
I sat down, did it, and the kid comes in and he goes, "Hey, look at constipation."
And it's stuck.
And I looked at him and I said, I'm not constipated.
Yeah.
But the name stuck for a little while until another one came along.
Which is?
Fat Little Buddy.
Fat Little Buddy. FLB.
Yeah. Fat Little Buddy.
I was known as Fat Sam.
Sam?
As a kid, by my family, not by anybody bullying me.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. My little brother had I don't know why we had nicknames. I don't remember nicknames for my older brothers and my older sister. But my little brother was called Gig, and I was called Fat Sam. And I loved it.
That's cool.
We got racing jackets from my uncle was on his racing team. And it was so awesome to me. And mine said Fat Sam.
My mom got me a pullover, and she had embroidered, "I wish you were never born" on it. That was my other nickname.
Yeah, that wasn't a nickname. That was just that was a wish.
That was the angry nickname. She didn't mean it.
S for brains. That was mine. My mom called me that a lot more than Fat Sam. It's a weird thing. My nickname was something I was told about more than actually was used. Yeah, we called you Fat Sam. I was told this by the time I was like 6 or 7, then I adopted it, but I don't really remember people calling me that. They just remember them telling me that they called me that. I don't know. Weird.
Already.
Oh, in college, girls would do this. You know, Tim, that guy, and they would put their hand up because of my crooked teeth.
Boy, he had really crooked until like at 96 Rock. You didn't get it fixed till
I got
then.
braces in 2001.
There was something over here was like going the wrong way.
No, I had shark teeth.
Yeah,
rows and rows.
Greg Russ had shark teeth. Teeth they had to be removed, and his parents knew he didn't like the dentist when he was like 8 years old. They lied to him, told him they were going to get toys or something. He ended up at the dentist, and they yanked out all his teeth.
Well, no wonder he's so traumatized.
Yeah.
Bucket of lies, that kid.
Yeah. All right, you ready? We're knocking these down.
All right, here we go. Starting.
What do we have, 2 minutes here or something?
No, this is the 7.
Oh, this is 7, right.
7. And then at the end, when we close
what
out.
Am I a goldfish? Yeah.
Hey, you've worked hard today, Eric.
I have. I'm not even done.
All right, here we go. So starting hour 3, seg 4, in 3, 2, 1.
I've got a good woman at home.
Ain't that the truth? Without a good woman at home, why, you'd have to go back to an empty house and do whatever you wanted with no one nagging. Who would want that? Put your feet up. Just watch sports shows without having to pretend you're interested in whatever happened to her at work today. No one wants that. Man, am I happy. I've got a good woman at home. All right, do you have more stories for me?
Yes, there's a reason why we're coming back with that. Wallet Hub finds that Atlanta...
Wallet Hub. This is the hub that is in the middle of downtown Atlanta, and people store their wallets there.
Yes.
Until they're done, and then they come back and they get the wallet.
Exactly. And
great system.
And in the meantime, they give us amazing reviews on just about everything. And again, Wallet Hub has found that Atlanta is the best place for singles in 2019. So this is 2 years in a row. We're the best place in the country for singles.
That's the camel that broke the
straw's
back. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm getting a divorce. I know I've been together 32 some odd years, but it seems like the time is right because, well, the single scene. Can you imagine me on the single scene?
Hey, ladies.
Hey.
I could see you out at Dark Horse.
Hey.
Hanging out with old English Nick over at 10 High.
This is what I would,
old English Nick?
English Nick?
This would be me. I would just be a little drunk, and I would just sidle up to somebody, and I go, hey, I know I ain't much to look at, but you should see my bank account. Does that work? Does that still work?
That'd be your Wallet Hub.
Hey, you'll never pay for a ride home after we're done again.
Listen, you would have no trouble if you were.
Maybe because I'm the host of I'm a beloved. What's wrong with this microphone? I'm a beloved host of a radio show, but I've seen people who have worse faces than mine that are on radio do well in that area.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've been with my wife for so long, and I have a happy life. I don't know that I could make that transition. I think that if my wife came up to me and said, you know what, I want to do something else, and we were getting divorced, I don't think I'd ever date again. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Just the concept of dating when you're 55.
You have your entire life with her, and then you have to go out and try to find someone new and try to recreate it. You'd be like Woody Allen trying to do the lobster thing and Annie Hall.
And then the Me Too thing, not knowing how to navigate that. This is the way. I would have this rule. This would be my rule if I was single. The woman would have to go 80% of the way before I got the clue that, we're going to do it. It would have to be like, she would have to wrestle me to the ground and go, this is going to happen whether you like it or not. And I go, okay, I'm off the hook on the Me Too thing, right? You definitely do. You are into this. All right, hold on 1 second. I just want to get you to say this into this microphone and recorded that you, in fact, do consent.
Make her sign a form, too.
Yeah, the whole deal. Then we'll have some mac and cheese and get it on.
That's your sugar baby fantasy. Mac and cheese.
That's right. I'll just have some nice big beanie weenie.
We'll be grateful that if you ever decide to go that route, that you're in Atlanta because, over 2 hours away in Augusta, they're ranked 110th for their dating
We're
scene.
number one?
Yeah, we're number one.
They're 110th?
Yeah.
What happened in Augusta? The problem is nobody can talk about anything other than the Masters.
I guess so.
They're boring the hell out of everybody. Hey, look, it's just a part of your life.
Wallet Hub ranks this on economics, fun and recreation, and
fun.
then dating opportunities.
There's fun. There's one kind of recreation, and it's fun once a year in Augusta. Who stays in Augusta? I know I sound like a D-bag.
Who lives in Augusta anyhow?
It's just the type of person that I am. They talk about how rural America is dying. If I was 16, I'd be waving goodbye to everybody in my family. I'm going to go over there where I hear it's great to be a single.
You mean you don't want to work at the box store until you're 50?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Hey, your great-grandfather and his great-grandfather before him made boxes. What makes you so special?
You have to have that great mentor that tries to explain to you, you don't need to go to college or get a job.
Yeah.
Come on, just stay over here. You'll be great.
I come from that kind of thing. It's like my family. I was the only one looking up. That's the way that I look at it. I was everybody else looking down. I was looking up. I was like, everybody, why would you want to be like them? What do you mean, people with money? I can give you 17 reasons right off the top of my head. Oh, they are. I love my family, but to me, it's a cop-out. It says anybody could be successful and make money, but we choose not to want that. In reality, you're afraid to go out there and compete, I think. So I come from that whole thing. I remember when I first started getting friends that had more money than the rest of my family. Oh, what's going on with you? I can't hang out with your own kind? What am I, in a tribe in Saudi Arabia? I met some people at work. They're more fun than you. So I'm hanging out with them. Before my mother died, just her idea of what somebody rich was astonishing. If somebody, she told me this guy, he runs the gas station. He thinks he's like, and then she would go like, oh, that guy runs the gas station.
He's loaded.
He's loaded. I'm like, Mom, I don't think he's loaded. It's tough to do. It's a hard business being a franchisee. It's very, yeah. He never parts with his money either. He's cheap. He runs the gas station.
Never gives your old ma a discount.
Yeah, he's like Mom, she's not that rich. Her idea, like her first husband, he's like, he had like a pension from Delco or something. It probably was worth like, all told, $60,000. And she talked about him like he was a millionaire.
Back then?
Back then? It was like 1991.
Oh.
All right, that music tells me that Eric's fond tales, family adventures, are coming to an end.
And you'd also be a great single in Atlanta. That's one thing we learned here.
Yes. Hey, ladies. You never know. Yeah, I know I'm not much to look at, but you should see my bank account. That's my win, and it's a win-win. All right, we're going to take off for another day, but we'll come back. We'll do it again. You're all invited to join us. But until then, continue on the journey. Yep. Piss off the Jeep.
Excellent.
Dun, 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 dun,
All right.
dun, 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 dun,
Now
dun,
we
dun.
have to start the show. This is going to
Wow, we did this back-ass words.
Yeah. I figured those ones were fun stories to start with. Get us warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, just Jared. He knows.
He knows. Yeah, he's a good coach.
Be like Ruth Gordon. He knows what he's doing.
Jared, you know what I like you. You know why? Because, well, let me tell you, you're good at fighting baboons.
All right, Eric, you're starting the show. Okay,
at the end of that movie, he just lets that guy off the hook. It's like a terrible movie with an awful ending.
Yeah, well, because
Every Which Way But Loose. It's terrible.
I loved it.
Awful.
Because I was a kid when I saw it.
Those comic book bikers.
With the Nazi helmets.
My goodness.
Are you ready?
Baboon.
I never would have been afraid of those bikers.
Yeah,
Ever. No time in my life.
All right, you're opening the show, and everyone's here.
If they were at Altamont, we wouldn't even talk about Altamont.
That's true.
All right, you're opening the show, and everybody's here, okay? You ready? All right, starting seg 1 in 3, 2, 1.
Wait, hold on. I have to pick my nose. I was just going to wipe my nose, or just got tickled, and then I noticed there was something there. I apologize.
Big
no,
old
it wasn't. It was just kind of a little Sandman thing there on the end.
Save it for later.
Yeah. I put it behind my ear.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Scott.
There's some people that believe in that.
Believe in what?
There's some people that believe that if you eat your boogers, you don't get sick.
Yeah, well, that is what turns out that they.
That's why I'm
really
healthy as a horse. I eat other people's boogers.
Why, they just don't want to admit that they like the taste.
Oh, they're pretty good if you get them dry.
All right, you gross.
Just start the show.
I don't eat things.
Starting seg 1.
That's basically it. I don't eat
you're missing out.
Eat things that come out of my body.
Off, on, in, out.
Starting
over
salad.
Starting seg 1 in 3, 2, 1.
Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler, surrounded by a full house. It's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to Doctrinaires. Tim Andrews is here. They call him the man of 1,000 voices. I haven't really done the paperwork, but it's close. Autumn Fisher is here. Jared Yamamama.
I'm feeling great today, man.
Are you feeling great?
Yeah,
Why
absolutely.
are you feeling great? I know you love Fridays, but why else would you be feeling great?
Well, I just we got a good weekend ahead.
My voice changed over the weekend.
Good weekend coming up, and it's need some good news coming, so that's gonna be fun.
Whoa, hell, we need some good news. Are we the ones who are going to provide the good news? Or
I believe so.
After this is done, then you'll get on with the good news. Because this is talk radio, pal. Good news don't get you ratings. Bad news gets you ratings. And I'm in the business of bad news. Let's do it.
The experts say.
Experts say.
No experts are warning.
Experts say.
The experts say.
Experts say.
The experts say on the Von Haessler Doctrine.
Oh, I forgot that we were doing it, doing kind of a crazy thing. We don't usually open up with one of our, what would you call them?
Features.
Feature segments. But we decided, what the hell, it's Friday, and this Jared Yamamoto is looking to have some good news. So hopefully we can find it. So maybe the experts will tell us that things are really, really good.
I think this is a story that you will agree with the experts on.
Well, let me explain to people, in case they've never heard us do experts say this. Every headline, in some way, has to have the two words experts say in it. And that's all. And
Correct.
then it ends up in there.
So putting up Christmas decorations early can make you a happier person, experts say.
How much money do people spend on these? I guess it wasn't a study, right? It's just experts.
No, it's just experts.
Just a guy walking around. Somebody asked him, who was the expert? Father Christmas?
I think you ought to put your Christmas lights up about October 12th.
Well,
think of how happy you'll be.
Hey, I have some questions about Christmas. Is that expert is he still in town?
I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
I
got
live
some
in the
questions.
streets.
Hey, let's say I was to put up my Christmas lights, say, I don't know, a couple nights before Thanksgiving. Would that make me happier or sadder?
You'll be happy, but if you want, what about a week before?
Okay, even happier.
Oh, yes.
What if I just leave them up all year long?
Well, why? You'll be happy every day.
That's something. It's also easier. By the way, there's 2 parts of Christmas I hate. Getting the stuff out. I buy new lights every year because I go down in the basement. I see that last year. Because what I do when I'm done, when Christmas is over, well, it's going to be a year. I just tangle them, throw them into a box. So I don't have to deal with that for a year. Then I have to come back and they're all tangled up. And I'm like, these things are cheap. Just go to Walmart and buy eight boxes and I'll have enough for anything.
You don't do sustainable Christmas in your house.
No, I don't. We try to use as much electricity and harm the earth as much as possible.
Whatever happened to those
old Christmas tradition of the Haesslers?
Whatever happened to those upside down Christmas trees from like 2016?
That was a thing.
Yeah, what happened to those?
See, that was a thing that was sold to us as a thing, but in reality, it was never a thing. Did you ever walk into anybody's house and see an upside down Christmas?
I never saw one.
You saw them online. Everybody's doing it. What am I, a complete loner? I haven't seen anybody with the upside down Christmas tree. Nobody did it. There was no reason for it. What was the purpose? What was the idea?
I guess it was a trend, a Christmas trend. Everyone's trying to look for that new thing.
People have to do things for a trend. I don't see that. I just don't see that was ever a thing. Somebody sold a few upside down Christmas tree kits. Right? You had to buy the right ones. You hang them from the ceiling? Is that how it was, or did you put it in the thing?
So some of them had the stand that was on the bottom, and it just was built. I mean, they were artificial, obviously.
Why the hell would you want one?
Point of that.
What was even the...
Hey, look at us. We're different.
It's just
I haven't seen any ads for those this year.
Oh, we don't do anything like the stupid fools who came before us. We turned it upside down. That's how creative we are. That's a real creative act.
My wreath on the door is a tire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sustainable.
Yeah. It's rubber.
It'll be around. You see that commercial where the lady is like the makers and she's an artist? I think she says plethora. It's plethora. It's
plethora.
Plethora. She says plethora. But it's an artist, and the idea is make things in these PSAs. And she's an artist who makes sculpts art through old tires. And yeah, first of all, she says plethora wrong. And secondly, you look at one and you go, wow, that's pretty cool. It's like a statue made of old tires, tread. And then they pull back and you see all of her stuff, and it's like, well, that all looks the same. What are you telling me? So you can make the same thing over and over and over? Hey, I can make a lamp look like a statue, look like a countertop. It's like everything's the same. What's so great about it?
Well, that's the thing. Say, I sculpted one thing out of a tire, and somebody really liked it, and I thought, well, I could sell this, and I did sell it.
There's a plethora,
there's a plethora of people doing these tire sculptures on
Etsy.
Like,
oh, what are you, Miss Artsy Fartsy? You don't know how to use the word plethora.
No, I say it the proper way, please.
Plethora. It's like people who say Cannes Film Festival. No, it's Cannes. It's properly pronounced Cannes, but people who are film.
I say Cannes.
Oh, I say Cannes. It's Cannes. Well, it's not the way that it's pronounced.
Well,
the city is the city of Cannes.
Well, I think those type of people would think that you get excited about Christmas way too early, Eric, because you usually talk about it in like September. Which I agree is way too early.
It's like now. I mean, my whole life, when I get off of here, it's putting together the Christmas special. I start that, late September. Start getting into that. And then when everything goes, and I love Christmas. My Christmas tree will probably be up by Tuesday or Wednesday next week, before Thanksgiving. I'm all in. You kidding me? I'm all in. A time of year where I get to be blissfully ignorant of bad things. I'm all in. I'm going all the way. You know what? I used to make fun of people who would stick their head in the sand. What is that, like ostriches, they say?
Yeah, I guess.
Does that really happen?
No, I don't think so.
But now, I'm starting to see the wisdom of it. Just be blissfully unaware of all this nonsense that's going on. People yelling at each other all the time. That's what they all sound like to me.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Here's
except for you.
Here's the resistance. Here's the Trumpers. That's what I hear. Might as well just be Chinese.
Why did you give the Trumpers a deeper voice?
Because they're mostly
men.
Mostly men.
Oh, okay.
I had a few of the suburban white women in the other.
Don't forget blacks for Trump.
I know. It's a carnival. It's fun, but I sometimes just want to just disconnect. And so that's what I'm doing. Christmas, take me away. Get all stoned. Look at those lights.
Hey, you're on the radio.
Huh? Oh, okay. Sorry. I was having a reverie.
I understand.
Yeah.
Many youths say a high school diploma is enough to succeed, poll shows, but experts are alarmed by the statistic.
Of course experts are alarmed because there's a scam going on. It's been going on for a long time. And he goes, it's talk radio is a scam college. Not necessarily. The scam is the idea that there's only one way to be successful. That's not true. You should go to college if you need what they have. You shouldn't go to college to have the college experience. And parents who push their kids into college for the college experience. If your kid doesn't know what they want to do, then let them take a year off. Work for a living. You can stay in the house, work for a living. Go to work every day, whatever it is. And maybe you'll find along the way something you want to do, something you don't want to do. You know what else you might find? You might find a friend, or you guys get talking. Maybe you work for a fence company, building fences. Maybe you build pools. I don't know. And you meet, and you're really good at it. You meet somebody, and you know what? This guy's doing it all wrong. Let's start our own company. That may be the way for people. Maybe it isn't. But when you get to be 16, 17 years old, and you're starting to think about the future, the idea that everyone has to go to college to be successful is idiotic. It's idiotic. Now, should most? I guess maybe most should. I don't know. But individually, you should do next what you want to do next, providing that is something constructive. Deciding that I want to, sit and eat Cheetos on my mother's couch for a year. That's not a legitimate decision.
No, he's thinking about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding yourself. You know where you find yourself? Knee deep in dishes on a Friday night, working at TGI Fridays. That's where you'll find yourself. You're going to find purpose. You're going to find something that's way away from here.
It's much easier to do that when you're 18 than when you're almost 50 because you cry.
Yeah. You had that experience.
Oh, yeah.
So, but life is like that. It goes up, down, and around. Maybe college is good for most people. But college for the sake of college is not a good idea. And you shouldn't go to college just because all your friends are going to college. My first stint in college was a complete disaster, but I had a blast.
Well, the experts say, Eric, that the findings alarmed experts who say young Americans don't seem to be getting the message that college pays off in the long run.
Oh, really? We're not getting the message? We're pushing everybody through that mill. That's why it costs so much. Hey, guaranteed loans. It turns out that college now, the tuition has gone up. I don't know exactly what it is, but next to like inflation, it's ridiculous. And I wonder why. Government-backed loans. Okay, so nothing stops us. And why is the tuition up? Well, we had to hire a whole new female studies department. And then we got this other department. We had to build a whole building for the country your parents taught you to love actually sucks department. We got to pay these people. College is the right thing. You should want to go to college. You should be in college because you want to go to college. You shouldn't be in college because it's grade 13.
Yeah.
You go to grade 10 because it's after 9. You shouldn't go to college because 13 is after 12.
Experts say.
Well, hold on. He put up his finger there.
Yeah. Hey, so when I
You're
was.
not going to beat me up or anything.
No, of course not.
Good.
I couldn't anyway. When I was 17, I had to go and get a loan to go to college because they still had Pell Grants at the time.
Yeah, I dealt with that, yeah.
But I didn't know what I was going to get. So I went and asked for a certain amount of money. I had to wear a tie and a long sleeve shirt and go to a bank and sit there and ask for money.
And the guy's sizing you up. And
yeah, what are you going to do after school?
You're lying like crazy, trying to look sincere.
Well, I told him I wanted to be on the radio.
Oh, really? Well, it worked out.
Yeah, and
wow.
And then I got grants. So my first semester in college was the fall of 1988. It was $850 for one semester. Then they got rid of the grants. They started doing the guaranteed Sallie Mae loans. By the time I left college, tuition was $2,000.
This goes up. And then, by the way, statistics 101. Yeah. We created a new textbook, so it's going to cost you an extra whatever.
That too.
Which is funny
because nothing has anything changed in entry level statistics. No. We just, we move things around, and it's a good way for the teacher to make a little extra scratch because we're only paying them $30,000 a year at this community college.
Especially if you're the professor that writes the book.
That's what I'm saying.
It is unbelievable that they will change. I had one book. I remember my junior year, because I was in my major at that point. I was in a poli-sci. I was a poli-sci minor, and one of my professors was the one who wrote the book, and he released the second version of the book, and it was a paragraph that had changed. One paragraph and some graphics in there.
They moved the graphics around. And
that is it.
All right, the second edition of my textbook, Famous Speeches of the Founding Fathers. You're going to have to buy that one. Well, have they shown up and given any new speeches lately? No. But the textbook is different, and you need to buy it. So there's a lot of, look, parents, I went through this mostly with the first. My second child was a little less, I don't know, he's just lower key, I guess, at that time of his life. They're both low key and easy maintenance now, but we had to go through that whole thing. There's a competition that goes on with the parents about what college.
Of course.
And all of this. It's got nothing to do with the kids usually. Look, if you have any doubt what your kid should major in, go to work. Go to work for a year. Like I said, you'll find yourself at the bottom of, that barrel of salad dressing you have to paddle. Stir
it's hard to get through the blue cheese
for a Friday night
but
rush.
But again,
that's where you'll find yourself, kids.
The experts say it's been decades since a high school diploma alone was enough to earn a good living, Eric.
What was Eric von Haessler's last grade that he graduated? 8th. Dropped out of the 9th grade. Did 2 stints in college. Community college. And that's another thing. If you want to go to college, it's affordable. I don't care who you are, where you come from. You get a job. There's still community colleges.
Community college, trade school.
Yeah.
And actually, I have something you can do the rest of your life.
I like trade school.
Me too.
Hey, you got to know the internet. Yeah, well, as far as I know, in our lifetime, the internet's going to run on electricity. So if you get certified as an electrician, you're going to have work.
All right,
I can
more.
tell you, man, obviously nothing big has happened in this opening round in the impeachment. Because you look at the banners, there's nothing. It's just next continue, soon, House impeachment hearings continue.
There was
if
one.
Somebody had said something that was, okay, now here we go. Well, what?
It wasn't anything new. It was him. It was the first guy, Bob or whatever.
What, the George Kent with the
the other guy. The
guy that looks like George Stein?
Yeah. He said something about, I was concerned.
Okay, yeah, we knew that. This is going to flop just like the Mueller hearings. These Democrats, they can't get out of their own way. You got a president that half the country can't stand. They can't figure out a way to run somebody to beat him. It's insane.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So now I've got one quick one here. This is a relatively quick segment. Okay.
Relative to what?
Relative to the
other
Gettysburg
segments. Address? That was pretty quick.
That's true. I think this segment will be longer than the Gettysburg Address.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Starting Seg 2 in 3, 2, 1.
Woohoo! Woohoo! I feel bad. I'm a Blur fan. This is Blur. This is one of those songs that played so much and was on every movie trailer. And it's called Song 2, so it's the second song on the album. And it's a great album. But if you have other people in the car, you skip it because you feel like a D-bag if you let it play. But it's actually a great song. But people only know, like, woohoo!
It's the only part. It's the only Blur song I know.
It's like Tattoo You by the Stones.
What do you skip on that?
So, well, it starts with Start Me Up, which is a great song, but you can't, be taken seriously. Like, man, all right, I'll just go right to Hang Fire.
Well, you're going to start with Waiting on a Friend?
Hang Fire. Waiting on a Friend is the last song on the album.
I know, but
you can
shuffle.
go backward? No.
Shuffle.
You start with, you just go right with Hang Fire and play it through. You feel goofy. Like, somebody in the back seat doesn't know. You go, oh, this guy thinks this is original. He's playing Start Me Up. What's next? Stairway to Heaven?
Is that what Keith wants when you listen to one of their albums? He wants you to listen from start to finish.
Hey, man, Keith's
just whatever, shuffle's fine.
I wonder if Keith Richards must have been the first person to, at some point, mindlessly to have said, you do you.
You do you, right? Put that on a poster.
All right, what do you got?
Apple car gender bias, guys.
I think we already did this.
Don't assume it's discrimination, experts warn.
Didn't we already talk about this?
We have not talked about this. This is intense.
I don't think it's discrimination. I see all this stuff. These millennials write these blog type. I see the headlines like, I applied for Apple Card credit and I got something like, I got humiliated in return. No, you didn't. You got a credit rating you didn't like. Why is everything humiliation? It's an algorithm.
Well, some wives are upset because their husbands got higher credit ratings than they did.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Limits.
Yeah, well, who's bringing home the bacon? Just kidding.
Very good. And look at that.
I believe we talked about that on Monday. That's why I said that, but it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. We blasted through that.
We did it on Tech Tuesday. You got the whole week messed up there, pal.
I know. I'm crazy.
You think it's Thursday because we're off on Friday.
But the gummies are great.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Hey, you don't get something for nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't get something for nothing.
Those CBD gummies I bought you at the CBD store?
Oh, my God. Can I tell you, and I'll tell everybody, a good gummy and that new Van Morrison album, that's a match made in heaven. Float away. I'm not saying I've done it. I'm just saying I've heard.
I call something else a gummy.
Penis?
No. A gummy. You're getting older, you dated a lady.
Oh, yeah.
Take her teeth out. No, she can't last as long as a full album.
That's disgusting.
Gwen wants to thank you.
She can. You can't.
Well, I could with that, yeah. I mean, I have total control with that.
Oh, yeah? Really? Yeah.
I don't know.
I know you, yeah.
I haven't had one in. All right.
Hey.
Gwen says that she bought the new Van Morrison album after hearing cuts on the show yesterday, and it did not disappoint.
You know what's great about Van Morrison? This is a great thing. He makes you buy the album.
Yep.
But on YouTube, the album is completely available for free in official audio, great audio. But if you want it, now I don't know, some of the kids, maybe having it on YouTube all the time is fine. But for me, it's like, no, but you want to get it in any of your things.
It's in Spotify.
It's in there. I mean, for Apple Music, I had to buy it. I went to a page, and I had to buy it. Do you have Spotify? Did you get it as part of your subscription?
Yeah.
Oh, I had to buy it. Maybe he doesn't like Apple Tunes or something. I didn't mind buying it, though. Well worth $8.99. We should put a link to that last song, Days Gone By.
Definitely.
What a song. What a song. I mean,
I need to listen to the album.
It will make you, if you don't walk away more joyful, and it's hitting on the human condition. It's not necessarily, it's just, very quickly. Driving Klein has a great song on their first album called Stand Up and Fight for It. And that Days Gone By to me is him saying, I stood up and fought for it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right. That music says we got to go. We got to go now. Goodbye.